day 1, I spawned in as a police officer. Well, I was actually just a rookie, and I was pretty small too. It's okay, I'll move up in no time. But where are all my other cop friends? Hello, is my partner around here? I was all alone, so I checked out my gear and realized I already had some handcuffs. Cool! Just then, I noticed some bandits nearby. They were around a cage full of citizens. I approached them, but before I knew it, they were attacking me. Hey, that's no way to treat an officer. What is going on here? Why is there so much crime? It's like the criminals are in control. I wanted to help the citizens, but I only had 5 hearts, and they were running low, fast. I hurried and ran away. I didn't feel good doing it, but I really needed to heal up before I could help anybody else. I found a small cave and made camp for the night. As I went to sleep, I wondered again where all the other cops were and why it seemed like all the criminals had taken over. On day 2, I woke up and got right down to business. If there were no other cops, then I'd have to take care of things myself. I chopped down some trees and gathered some wood to make a crafting table. With that, I was able to make a wooden sword, pickaxe, shovel, and some other simple tools. These aren't the best, but they will do for now. I went out exploring and found a small village. I looked around, but everyone seemed to be gone. I wonder where everyone went. Just then, I heard some noise from behind a fence. It was a teenage girl. Hey, it's okay, I can help. She looked a little frightened, but she eventually came out of her hiding place. What happened?
There were some bandits that attacked our village. They took everyone captive, including my family.
I think I saw them earlier. I'm so sorry. I'll do what I can to get your family back. She seemed happy to hear that.
I'm Izzy.
I'm Zozo. Hey, we should find a safe place to go. If I build us a safe house, would you want to stay there? She happily agreed. Before we left, we went through the houses to gather some supplies. I found some leather, coal, and some food. I also harvested what was left of the crops so we could make ourselves a garden. On day 3, Izzy and I started off into the forest. I found a section of land we liked and decided to build a base there. We started building and made ourselves some simple houses. Then I started a little garden with the seeds I had collected.
Thanks, Zozo. You're a good cop.
It is my job to serve and protect. Just then, a bunch of rats came out from behind some trees. Oh, gross, get away! I was sure glad I had my new sword, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to defeat them. After I took out the last rat, I felt a surge of power and I leveled up. Cool, I'm an actual officer now. I had a shiny new baton and everything. I even gained a few more hearts. On days 4 to 5, I went out to gather some more materials. I was able to mine some cobblestone to make some new tools. On my way back to the base, I saw some bandits nearby. They looked like the ones I had seen earlier, but they didn't have a cage this time. There were only a few of them, so I knew I could take them out. I charged at them and attacked with my baton. I managed to get some hits in, but I finally defeated them all. Nice! I noticed that one had dropped something, so I picked it up. It was a note that told the bandits where to go to capture more people. It was signed by someone named Jenkins. That must be who they are working for. I'll have to find out some more information about him later. I returned to the base and greeted Izzy. She seemed really happy to be in a safe place. Hopefully we could help others find refuge here too. On day 6 to 8, I crafted some new stuff from the supplies I had gathered. I made a furnace and then made a tunic and some boots, using the leather I had looted from the village. Yeah, I'm ready to take on anything now. Just then, I heard Izzy screaming outside. I rushed out and followed her voice. I found her by the waterside being attacked by some spiders. Get back, you nasties! With my baton, I was easily able to defeat all of them.
Thanks, Zozo.
No problem, just be careful in the future.
Will do. Hey, I have something for you.
Izzy threw me some flowers she had picked.
I picked these for you. I thought they could brighten up the base a little bit.
For sure. We went back to the base, and I went right ahead and planted some of the flowers. Izzy was right, it did give a little life to the place. Just don't go wandering off again. I can't protect you if you're too far away. She nodded. Here, I'll make you a sword, just in case. I went over to my crafting table and made Izzy a simple sword and some other tools.
Thanks, these are great.
She went outside to pick some flowers, this time closer to the base. She's a funny one. I just hope she doesn't get into trouble again. On days 9 to 10, I decided to go out and search for some new materials. And I wanted more information about Jenkins. I'm sure somebody knew something. I found another village that seemed abandoned. I started to gather up some crops when I heard a scream. I ran around the corner to see some bandits capturing people. I also noted one huge buff guy in a suit. That seems strange. I charged toward the bandits and took out a few. Then the man in the suit laughed. I charged at him, but he sidestepped me. He drew a large sword that seemed to glow red. He smacked me once and nearly took me out. I had to hide so he wouldn't destroy me. The bandits and the man left, taking the villagers with them. I felt so angry that I couldn't do anything. Then I noticed one of the bandits on the ground. I had hit him, but he was still alive. He was trying to crawl away. Hey, I hurried and handcuffed him. He struggled, but he was frozen in place. Where are you taking the people you're capturing? The bandit threw a potato at me. I was about to make my final swing with my baton when he started screaming.
Okay, I'll talk.
That's what I like to hear.
We work for Jenkins, the mob boss. We were taking the prisoners back to his compound.
Why is he capturing people?
He captures basically everyone he doesn't like. Only the lucky ones get to be be his bandits.
Sure, lucky.
I was captured a long time ago, but Jenkins liked me, so now I work for him.
Why didn't you help people instead of capturing them?
Jenkins is too powerful. Anyone who tries to fight him is always beaten.
I could see why. That sword he had was different somehow. Really powerful too. But he couldn't keep taking people away. It wasn't right. I'm going to defeat him. The bandits seemed intrigued.
You really think you can take him on?
I wasn't entirely sure, but I knew somebody had to try. It's the right thing to do. The bandits seemed even more intrigued.
Can I join you?
I was a little suspicious of him, but I decided to let him come with me. If anything, he could give me some valuable information.
I'm Lionel.
I'm Officer Zozo. Nice to meet you. On days 11 through 12, I took Lionel's cuffs off and we headed back to the base. We started to work on a small house for him. He seemed really happy.
I haven't had my own house in so long. Jenkins just keeps us all in small bunks together. Thanks, Zozo.
Of course. Lionel actually seemed like a good guy. Maybe we would be friends after all. I introduced him to Izzy, and she seemed a little suspicious of him too. After a while though, she warmed up to him, especially after he offered to help her pick flowers. I decided the base was in good hands, so I went back to the cave to gather some more materials. As I went deeper, I noticed some skeletons were guarding a big deposit of iron. I could really use that. I charged toward the iron, but the skeletons had bows and arrows. Whoa, I didn't notice that. They all shot at me and depleted almost all of my health. I can't do this, I'm gonna die. I ran off and tried to heal for a minute. Oh, that was intense. I need some better weapons, but that iron is what I need to make a better sword. I went down a different tunnel and found a different iron deposit. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough to craft a new sword. Perfect. I creeped back down the tunnel and charged the skeletons again. It was tricky, but I was finally able to defeat them all. They even dropped some nice bows, which I promptly looted. Thank goodness. I mined all the iron and took it back home with me. I was able to make some more tools and even some armor. Yeah, this is amazing. I then called it a day. On days 13 to 15, I woke up to Lionel knocking on my door. Hey Lionel, what's up?
Zozo, I need to tell you something about Jenkins.
We sat down.
I really want to be optimistic, but Jenkins is really powerful.
I know, Lionel, but I am getting stronger.
But you don't understand, Zozo. Jenkins isn't just a normal guy. He once was, but when he was younger, he was hungry for power. His father was the mob boss, but Jenkins wanted to be in charge. He made a blood oath to some supernatural force, and it gave him his red blinking sword. He destroyed his father as a sacrifice. Jenkins gained power over the people, but the sword gained power over him. It's basically alive and it feeds on people. That's why Jenkins keeps capturing people, to feed the sword and keep his power.
This was a lot to take in. I thought it was just a blinking sword. This was something I wasn't sure I could handle.
I wanted to tell you so you know what you're going up against.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Lionel left and I sat there for a while. I was way in over my head. On days 16 to 19, I woke up to Lionel yelling my name. I opened the door. What is it, Lionel?
It's Izzy. She's missing. But here, there's a note and a map.
I took the note and read it. Izzy had gone outside and been captured by some villagers. They told me that if I wanted her back, I would need to pay them in gold. They even drew us a little map to where we needed to go.
We don't have any gold.
It doesn't matter. We need to go get her. Come on, let's go. We headed out in the direction the map said and reached a desert. Soon, we made it to a small village. It looked like it was in ruins. Hello, we are here to get our friend back. We turned the corner and saw Izzy. She was in a cage and surrounded by a few villagers. One villager with a wooden crown and sword came forward.
Give us the gold and we won't hurt you.
We don't have any gold. Give us our friend.
No, if you don't give me my gold, then I'll take it from you.
The villager lunged and attacked me. He was a good fighter, but I was better. After just a minute, I managed to defeat him. I felt another surge of power, and I leveled up into a sergeant. Nice! Izzy ran towards us and cried happily.
Thanks for saving me. I won't wander outside at night ever again.
A young man stepped forward. Are you really going to save us from Jenkins? That's what Izzy told us. He has a powerful sword that I'm not sure I can go up against. I know it could help. It's a legendary sword, dropped by a knight in a battle long ago. It's been lost somewhere in the desert. That sparked a little hope in me. Maybe I could defeat Jenkins after all. Do you want to come live in our base? It'll be safer there. A few villagers wanted to stay in their homes, but the young man agreed. I'm Nick. Nice to meet you, Nick. I'm Sergeant Zozo. We gathered some supplies and then took off towards the base. On days 20 to 22, we arrived back at the base, but it was on fire. There were some zombies on fire too. What the heck? We hurried and defeated them and then put the fire out in the base. It looks like we have some work to do. Nick and Lionel helped me while Izzy went back in her house to rest. She had had a long day getting kidnapped and all. She deserved to sleep. We made some new improvements to the base, including a better fence, and started building a house for Nick. I was happy to have him around and looked forward to learning more about the sword he was talking about.
Hey Zozo, we should build a statue to let people know this is a safe place from Jenkins, and that you're gonna kick his bum.
That's a good idea, Lionel. We chatted about the statue with Nick and decided on something simple. Can you guess what it is? Also, hurry and hit subscribe so you can follow me on more adventures. adventures. On days 23 to 26, I was gathering some crops from our garden when a bunch of bees started attacking the base. Where did you come from? Everyone got their weapons and we managed to fight them off. As I hit the last one, it dropped something. I picked it up and it was some golden apples. Wow, these look amazing. I should probably save them for later though. I went up to chat with Lionel. Hey, I think it would be really helpful if we scouted Jenkins' base, just to see what we were up against.
I think that's a great idea. We just need to be careful. There are guards literally everywhere.
Nick and Izzy decided to stay behind and work on the statue while we headed out to the compound. It was a little bit of a journey, but when we arrived, I could see what Lionel meant. It was huge, and there were guards all over the place. Wow, you weren't kidding.
I know that there is a guard entrance in the back, but only the higher-ranking guards or bandits can open it. And Jenkins, of course.
Just then, we saw a bandit running towards us. We started to run away and thought we had lost him, when suddenly he popped out from behind a tree.
Lionel, brother, I knew that was you.
Luke?
I heard you were dead, but when I saw you from the tower, I knew I had to come and get you.
Luke drew his sword and went to attack me.
No, don't! This is my friend Zozo. He's going to help us defeat Jenkins.
Luke snorted.
Yeah, right.
He will. He's going to find the legendary sword of the night and defeat him.
Luke seemed skeptical. I know it might seem impossible, but I can do it. I'll free everyone, and you won't have to be a slave anymore. Luke looked convinced enough.
Okay, I'm in. I don't like the food there anyway.
Luke chatted with us about what had happened recently with Jenkins. He had been raiding more and more villages lately, hungry for power. We then made our way back to the base. Once we got back to the base, we cleared out an area and made a house for Luke as well. Even though him and Lionel were brothers, they wanted their own places. I didn't blame them. We also made some improvements to the base, including some towers and a higher fence.
Wow, this is actually pretty rad, Sarge.
Luke saluted me incorrectly. He was an odd one, but I was glad to be helping people get away from Jenkins. On days 27 to 31, I went to talk to Nick about the legendary sword. He was picking some flowers. Are those for Izzy? He seemed to blush a little bit.
Maybe.
Her favorite are the blue ones.
Hey, thanks.
He picked up some blue flowers while we chatted. So, the sword.
Yeah, so all I know is that it's buried somewhere deep in the desert. It's super powerful.
It sounded like a very interesting weapon. Jenkins needed to be stopped, and this seemed like the only way to do it. Let's go find that sword.
All right.
We stopped at the base so that Nick could give his flowers to Izzy. She seemed really happy about them and wished us good luck. We gathered some supplies and then headed out into the desert. It was so big and I had no idea where to start. Any idea where it could be?
Just somewhere in the desert.
We started digging around, looking for some significant formations. It was honestly just a lot of sand. Then out of nowhere, a bunch of snakes came slithering up to us. Nope, none of that. I drew my sword and started fighting them off, but there were too many, and they started biting me. We need to go, Nick. We ran away and made our way back to the base. We felt discouraged, but I would find the sword. I just knew it. On days 32 to 35, we traveled back to the base. On the way there, we ran into a traveling merchant.
Hello, lots of items for sale. Anything you could want, really. Name your price.
We aren't in need of items, but maybe you have some information. What do you know about the legendary sword that was lost in the desert? The merchant rifled through some items, looking for paper.
Yes, here it is. I once encountered a man who said it was buried in the furthest reaches of the desert, never to be found again.
Never?
Never!
He raised his arms dramatically and waved them around. I looked at Nick. This guy was a little bit wacky. Probably not the best source for information. Well, thanks. We'll be going now.
Not on my watch.
I turned around to see Jenkins with some of his guards. The merchant screamed and hid behind his camel.
Yeah, I've met you before. You're that annoying little rookie I swatted back in the village.
It's Sergeant Zozo to you.
I drew my baton and attacked his guards.
I easily took a few of them out, but then I saw Jenkins use his blinking red sword. I was in trouble now. He smacked me and I felt my health start to drop. I still wasn't even close to being strong enough to defeat him. Just then, I looked in the merchant's shulker and saw some TNT. Yes. Take this, Jenkins! I placed the TNT and blew up the sand around us. Come on, Nick, we gotta go!
Wait for me!
The merchant sprinted behind us, cradling an armful of items. We all ran off towards the base, leaving Jenkins in a sandy mess. On days 36 to 39, we all arrived at the base safely. The merchant looked exhausted.
Thank you for saving me. Jenkins would have had my head for sure.
Of course, we are glad to have found another friend with us.
I'm Caleb. Please, let me repay you for your kindness.
The merchant handed me a rock he was holding. Thanks.
It's my favorite rock. Take good care of it.
I pocketed the rock, thinking how odd this man was. But then we decided to help Caleb set up a little shop in the base so he could continue to sell his wares, whatever they may be.
I lost most of my items in the commotion, but this will do for now.
Anything else you need?
Actually, if you could gather some sand for me, I could make some glass bottles to store more items.
I decided it wasn't too much of a hassle, so I went to the desert and gathered some sand for Caleb. When I came back, he was very grateful.
Ah, yes, perfect. This will definitely help.
I then decided to do some work on the statue for a little while. It was looking pretty good, but it wasn't done quite yet. On days 40 to 43, I went out to mine some more materials to make some upgrades to the base. On my way there, I passed by a small group of travelers. They looked like farmers of some sort, but they must have thought I was working with Jenkins because they yelled and tried to run away when they saw me. Wait, I won't hurt you. I'm a police officer. They stopped running and approached me.
Oh, a young hero. Maybe you can help us.
Sure, what is it?
All of our animals were stolen by some hooligans in the forest. If you could go get them back for us, we'd be so grateful.
It seemed like an easy enough task. Sure, do you know where they are?
Yes, they live in an outpost next to the foot of the mountains. We don't dare get close because they have better weapons than us.
I'll help you. In the meantime, you can stay at my base. I pointed them in the right direction, and they headed that way. I went towards the mountain they mentioned, and before long, I saw the outpost. There were a bunch of animals all shoved into a pen nearby.
Looky here, boys. We've got a live one.
I drew my sword and charged the pillagers. There weren't many of them, and their weapons were very simple. I picked off a few of them easily, but their leader seemed a little more skilled. We exchanged a few more blows, but after a minute, I defeated him. Alright guys, let's get you back to your owners. I grabbed some leads from the house and wrangled up the animals. We were able to make it back to the base safely. When we got there, the farmers were overjoyed.
Thank you, Zozo. Please feel free to use as much wool and milk as you'd like.
Thanks. It'd be really good to have some more food sources, and the farmers seemed more than happy to stay with us. On days 44 to 49, I journeyed back to the desert where I'd gathered the sand for Caleb. I figured there could be some other useful materials nearby. When I got there, I noticed there was a sea turtle being attacked by a squid. Hey, you let him go! I jumped in and smacked the squid. He tried to maneuver back deeper into the water, but I was too fast. Before I knew it, the squid was defeated. Thank you, sir. You are my hero. The sea turtle nodded in appreciation. Of course, I am here to serve and protect everyone.
That's so good to hear. It's been so long since we've had a hero in this land. I remember when that knight promised to protect everyone, but he went bad.
This was new information. Bad how?
Do you not know the story?
Can't say that I do.
The knight was named Polybius. He protected the king and his daughter, but he realized there were too many enemies, and he was only one man. So he prayed to a deity, begging for their help to protect his friends. They granted him the sword, and he named it Brink.
Brink?
Because everything was on the brink of destruction.
Okay, continue.
So he was gifted Brink and was told that it would always be his if his goals remained true and right to the kingdom. Time went on, and he was able to vanquish all of the king's enemies. But after a while, Polybius became prideful and decided he wanted to show everyone how powerful he was. He challenged a man to a duel of strength, and he was defeated. The sword fell to the ground, but nobody was able to pick it up. Over time, the ground changed and it was buried within the earth.
So how would someone pick it up?
If your goals are true to the kingdom, or I guess now just the land, then you should be able to pick it up.
This was good information to have. Even if I did find the sword, would I be worthy enough to retrieve it? Thank you. You've been a lot of help.
Of course. Thank you.
And with that, the turtle swam off. I gathered some more materials while I thought about what he said. I really hope I can get that sword. It's our only option at this point. On days 50 to 53, I decided to go deeper into the desert to see if I could get any clues as to where the sword might be. While out looking around, I happened upon the group of snakes again. Hey, get out of my way! I had grown stronger since the last time I saw these danger noodles, so I was able to defeat them easily. If only I could defeat Jenkins that easily.
Did you say Jenkins?
I flipped around and saw an old backpacker standing nearby. Yeah, I did.
Good for nothing, scoundrel.
The man spit into the sand.
If you want to defeat him, you better get that sword I've heard so much about.
I'm trying to, I just have no idea where to find it. The backpacker pulled out a paper with a drawing on it. It looked like a hand reaching up.
I was told that the sword is buried deep underneath this rock formation. I haven't seen it in my travels, but maybe you'll find it.
Wow, thanks, this helps a lot.
Of course, you might want this too.
He handed me a bunch of diamonds. I can't take these away from you.
Sure you can. Just promise when you defeat Jenkins, you tell everyone how much I helped you.
I will, sir.
It's good old Tim.
Tim.
No, good old Tim. The whole thing.
Oh, right. Thanks, good old Tim. He waved goodbye and headed off. What an interesting dude. On days 54 to 57, I went back to the base to make some new armor out of the diamonds I had gotten. Wow, this is incredible. I also made some new tools so that I could do some renovations to the base. I added some lanterns, expanded the garden, and made sure everything was well lit. Everything was looking great. And then decided it was too late to do anything else and went to sleep. In the morning, I heard a familiar voice coming from outside.
Zozo, I need your assistance, if you please.
Caleb was calling to me from his shop. I headed over to chat with him. Hey Caleb, what else do you need?
Those bottles were great, but now I need a few more things in order for my shop to really thrive.
Okay, what do you need?
Melons.
Melons?
Yes, melons! Now off with you!
I shrugged my shoulders. Caleb was odd, but I wanted him to be happy. It seemed like an easy enough task. I went exploring for a little bit in the forest before I happened upon some melons. Easy enough. I harvested the melons, gathered some of the seeds, and headed back to the base. I brought them back to Caleb.
Perfect!
He started mixing some stuff together in the back and then came out a few minutes later with a bottle.
Here you are, Sergeant!
I looked, and it was a potion of healing. Oh wow, thanks Caleb. This will really come in handy.
Of course! Anything for you, good sir.
He gave me a half bow with an awkward salute. It was good enough. On days 58 to 62, we worked on the statue for a little while. It was starting to look almost as I had intended. So how was your first guess? Do you think you know what it is still? I was standing on the top when I saw the base being attacked down below. Hey, those look like some of Jenkins' bandits. I hurried and ran down to fight them off. Get out of our home, you good-for-nothing scoundrels. I was starting to sound a little bit like good old Tim. I was able to fight almost all of them off. A few escaped, but I wasn't too worried about them. I was able to head back to my house when I heard Izzy yelling for me.
Zozo, come quick, it's Lionel.
I ran to Lionel's house and found him hunched over on the floor. He looked really bad. Hey buddy, let's get you some help.
No, it's too late for me, Zozo. Just go get Luke for me.
Luke? Is he in his house?
No, he's the one who stabbed me. I overheard him talking to the bandits. He was in league with them all along. Jenkins wants Brink for himself so that nobody can defeat him. Apparently, they just found out about an old lady who knows exactly where to find the sword.
I couldn't believe it. Luke seemed like an okay guy. How could anyone betray their brother like that? Don't worry, Lionel. I'll get him.
Hurry, Zozo. He already left out of the back door.
Lionel took in one last breath, and then he died. I was so angry, but I didn't have time for that right now. I needed to go after Luke and find the sword before he could. On days 63 to 66, I followed some tracks leading into a woodland area. They must have been Luke's and the other bandits that got away. I tracked them for a while before coming to a small rundown cottage. The door was broken and I heard some yelling. I ran inside, drawing my sword. The two bandits were rummaging around, stealing from an old lady. She was sitting helpless in a chair. Hey, you get out of here! I quickly picked off the bandits and gave the old lady back her things.
Thank you, young man. I owe you my life.
All I need is some information, ma'am, and apparently you have it. She nodded like she understood.
The sword is under a rock formation, shaped like a hand reaching toward the sky. It is said that is how the knight, Plebus, died.
I gave her the picture that good old Tim gave me. She looked at it.
That's the one. I saw it a long time ago when I was traveling through the far east side of the desert.
She drew me a simple map that led to its location. It seemed to point into the desert.
Here you go, young man. I fear that the other young man called Luke will find it before you do. So hurry.
Will do. Thank you. I took the map and ran as fast as I could toward the line the old lady had drawn. I hoped that Luke hadn't found it, but I did hope to find him. I had a score to settle. On days 67 to 70, I arrived at the rock formation. I noticed that more bandits were there, and I saw Luke with them. They were gathered around a cart and a tunnel someone had dug. I charged at them all. How dare you hurt my friends! I swung and slashed and managed to defeat all of them, which left Luke and I alone.
Just give up, Zozo. You've lost.
I yelled in anger and charged at Luke. Lionel was your brother. How could you have betrayed him like that?
He was garbage, just like you. I'm gonna enjoy throwing you out as well.
I charged again and he smacked me really hard. I didn't realize how close I was to the opening of the tunnel. I fell down and nearly died. Luke sneered at me from above, then took off running. Coward! I looked around and noticed that the tunnel extended further into the ground. I hoped that I would find what I was looking for down there. On day 71 to 74, I walked down the tunnel for a little while before entering a large cavern. There seemed to be something in the middle of the room. I went closer to examine it and realized they had dug out all the dirt surrounding the sword. They must have taken all of it with them. They had the sword, but obviously they couldn't wield it. Maybe I did have a chance, but I was really discouraged. If Jenkins had the sword in his compound, how was I supposed to beat him? I looked around to see if I could find anything else of value. There were a few deposits of coal, but nothing more. I climbed back up through the tunnel and into the desert. It was going to be a long and painful journey home. On day 75 to 78, I headed back to the base, my head hanging low. Nick ran toward me.
So did you get Luke? Where's the sword?
Luke escaped. They took the sword, too. I didn't really feel like talking. I honestly just felt really sad.
Zozo, I have something for you, my friend.
Caleb motioned me over. I'm not really in the mood, Caleb.
Trust me, you'll like this.
He pulled out something from underneath his counter.
Since you really liked the TNT from last time, I decided to make you some more.
He gave me a whole stash of it. It didn't really cheer me up since I already had loads from before, but I figured it could be useful later. Thanks, Caleb. I started toward my house, but then decided to go into Luke's instead. Maybe he left something of use behind.
As I entered, I heard some noise. I turned around as Luke stepped into the room.
How did you get in here?
Like I would tell you.
Luke unsheathed his sword and we fought again. This time, I wasn't going to let him escape. We exchanged blows, but I was way stronger than him. After just a few more hits, I was able to defeat him. That's for Lionel. Just then, I noticed that Luke had dropped some stuff. It looked like a key and a map. This key must be to the back door of the compound. All of a sudden, I felt power coursing through my veins, and I leveled up into a lieutenant. I even grew a mustache and got some cool new shades. Wow, look at me! I looked at the map. It led to a section of tundra. This must be where they were taking the sword to. Luke must have come back here to get some of his stuff before heading there. But how did he get in? I looked around and found a secret door leading down into the ground. I followed it and it opened up outside the base, hidden behind some bushes. That explains it. I went back and filled the tunnel up, making sure nobody else could get inside. On days 79 to 84, I followed the map to the tundra. It was freezing and I didn't really like it that much, but I passed some different animals, so that was cool. I finally arrived, the freezing air whipping through my hair and mustache. It's freezing. I decided to make myself a little igloo to keep myself warm. I knew Jenkins and his bandits were coming to the tundra. I just didn't know exactly where they would be. I guess the location on the map was incorrect? I went back outside to look around, but then I saw someone running toward me. I hurried to draw my sword, but the person stopped before they could reach me.
Wait, you're not Jenkins.
No, I'm not. Who are you?
I'm Meg. I've been following Jenkins and his crew for a while now. I'm trying to defeat him and save my family.
I'm trying to defeat him too. He's captured my friends and destroyed people that I love.
I'm sorry. Maybe we can work together.
Sounds good to me. How are you going to defeat him? She seemed uneasy.
Honestly, I wasn't exactly sure. I know that I'm a good fighter, but he is really powerful.
So you've been tracking him. Do you know where he is exactly? Meg shook her head.
I followed them, but there was a large snowstorm that came through. I lost my way, so I've been wandering around for a bit.
I invited her inside to get warm. I showed her the map and she got really excited.
Hey, there's an abandoned mine shaft around here.
She took out a pencil and drew a circle on the map.
I'll bet that's where they're headed.
Perfect, let's go! We gathered in all the warmth we could, and then we headed out to the mine shaft. On days 85 to 89, Meg and I went tromping through the snow to the abandoned mine shaft. It was so cold and snowy. We had been walking for a long time when we realized we were back at the igloo. What? How?
We must have gotten turned around in the snowstorm.
This was so frustrating.
You're wasting your time. Jenkins is long gone.
I flipped around and saw good old Tim. Hey, what are you doing here?
Ice fishing.
He didn't have a fishing pole though, so I was really confused. Okay, did you see Jenkins?
Yes, sir. Came around with a cart and headed down the mine shaft. He left though. Still had the cart with him, so whatever it was didn't work. Or did. I don't know.
He shrugged nonchalantly. He must have taken the sword back to his compound. It all felt like a big waste of time. Good old Tim must have noticed I looked a little down because he put his hand on my shoulder.
It's okay, Lieutenant. Here, this'll cheer you up.
He handed me some ingots, which I realized were netherite.
That'll make you a good and proper sword, Lieutenant. Now go save us.
Wow, thank you. Where do you keep finding all of these things?
My secret.
Good old Tim smiled and winked at me. I looked at Meg, who smiled at me, and when I looked back, good old Tim was gone. Whoa, where did he go? I was starting to think that maybe good old Tim was my guardian angel or something. Meg and I shrugged at each other and headed into the igloo for the night. It had been a long and cold couple of days, and we needed some sleep. On days 90 to 94, I invited Meg to come back to the base, and she happily agreed. We gathered some more food along the way, since we figured our friends would be hungry. Once we got there, I repaired my armor and used my smithing table to upgrade my diamond sword into a netherite sword. It was amazing! I swung it around to test it out. This isn't Brink, but it'll sure give Jenkins a run for his money. I also upgraded my armor into netherite. It was going to be tough to beat me. I went outside to show my friends. They got really excited and started cheering me on.
Yeah, Zozo!
You're our hero.
Go beat Jenkins and get our land back.
I felt really strong and hopeful, but I knew there were a few things I needed to do before I could go infiltrate Jenkins' compound. On days 95 to 97, I woke up to the farmers I had helped calling out for me. I went outside and they gave me supplies to finish the statue as a thanks. Using everything they had given me, I got right to work. It took a little bit of time, but soon I had finished the statue. Wow, it looks amazing, guys. We did a great job.
No, thank you, Zozo. You've brought us all in and protected us. It's been a long time since anyone has had hope, but you've given it to us, so thank you.
I looked up at the statue of Brink. I knew that I didn't have the sword with me, but the statue gave me hope that I would find it again. I knew I could beat Jenkins. It was my destiny. On day 98, I went to say goodbye to my friends before heading out to the compound. Just then, Meg approached me from behind.
Zozo, I'd like to come with you. I want to fight alongside you and find my family.
You are more than welcome to come. We crafted Meg some better armor and weapons, and then we made one last trip around the base.
You take care of yourself, Lieutenant.
Will do, Nick. Take care of the base for us. If anyone else needs help, let them in.
For sure.
I talked to Caleb. He rummaged around and gave me and Meg another potion of healing.
Now go and be triumphant, young hero.
Thanks. We stopped at Izzy last. She gave me a beautiful arrangement of flowers.
Thank you for saving me, Zozo. Now go save everyone else.
Will do. I then left Izzy's house. If you want to support the last of our journey, be sure to subscribe. The more people we have, the stronger we can become. And with that, Meg and I headed out to the compound of Jenkins. On day 99, Meg and I arrived at the compound. We snuck to the back door and used the key Luke had dropped. It worked, and we snuck up through a tunnel into a large room. There were bandits everywhere. We decided to charge in and fight them. Meg and I fought our way through all of them easily, making our way to some stairs.
Zozo, I'm going to look for my family. You go find Jenkins.
Be safe. She went down the stairs and I went up further into the mansion. There were a few more bandits on the way, which I easily took out. I finally came to a large dark red room. It was incredibly creepy. At one end of the room, there was a lava lake with a pedestal. On top of it was a sword. That has to be Brink, but it's different than what I had imagined. I started towards it, but then felt something hit me backwards. It was Jenkins! He must have been hiding behind a pillar, waiting for me. His red sword blinked.
The young police officer. Why won't you just stop bothering me?
I'm here to bring justice to those you have wronged. He laughed at me.
Sure. Do your worst, rookie.
I charged at him and our swords clashed. Then I noticed that my sword was not really effective at all. I needed to get Brink sooner rather than later.
Just give up. You're no match against me.
If that's so, then why couldn't you wield Brink? He yelled in anger.
It's just a silly, stubborn sword. I thought freezing it in the tundra mine would work, but it didn't. But it doesn't matter. I don't need a dinky little sword when I have this.
He swung his sword around, slicing at me. My health went down, but I hurried and drank a health potion. Thank goodness for those. I was able to maneuver around Jenkins and hit him, causing him to stumble. I knew this was my chance. I ran towards Brink, reaching towards the hilt. Jenkins ran after me, ready to swing.
No!
On day 100, Brink released from the pedestal into my hands. I felt an amazing surge of power, and I transformed into a bigger and stronger police officer. I was now the chief of police. I had robotic features, and the power from me stunned Jenkins for a second. Give up, Jenkins! He growled, and I attacked him. Our swords met, and his shattered into dust.
No!
He tried to run away, but I attacked. Jenkins was defeated in one single blow. I did it! I jumped for joy. I knew I would retrieve the sword and defeat Jenkins. We could all go home now. I hurried down the stairs and helped Meg release the prisoners. They all went back to their homes, finally at peace that the land was free of Jenkins. Meg and I made our way back to the base with her and Izzy's families. We all celebrated the victory, happy to know that everyone was safe. On day 1, I spawned in as Iron Man. And look, I'm not a baby. I'm all powered up. I flew around firing lasers. This was really cool. These zombies have met their match. Time to say goodbye. I blasted the zombies out of the way. They were no match for the might of Iron Man. Once they were all destroyed, I was floating over the forest, scanning the area. Suddenly, something hit me out of nowhere. What was that? I didn't see who it was, but I heard a voice.
Say goodbye to your power.
I had hit the ground, but managed to survive. But look, now I only have 5 hearts. I had to hurry and leave the area though. Whoever that was could come back. Later, as I was escaping through the forest, a group of zombies came running up to me. I know how to handle these guys, but that was when I had my suit and powers. I didn't stand a chance now. I had no choice but to run away. I can't believe someone caught me off guard. They better watch out, because I'll stop at nothing to get my power back. But that was another day, so I settled in for the night. On day 2, I woke up all alone, still feeling weak without my powers. I had to figure out who was out to get me. I've got quite the mission ahead of me. I'm going to be building and making all kinds of really cool things. But before I can do that, I need to start with the basics. I went outside and got right to work planting trees. With the wood I had collected, I then made a crafting table. Using the crafting table and my leftover wood, I made myself some wooden tools, including a sword. Time to find some lunch. I went outside and soon came across a rabbit. That's going to have to do for now. I chased it down and got its meat. I might be trapped in the wilderness with no powers, but that doesn't mean I have to eat raw meat. As I took a look around, I soon came across a village. In the middle of the village was a campfire. Let's get cooking. I laid down my rabbit meat and let it sizzle. Soon, I had some cooked meat. I took a bite and was feeling much better. Suddenly, I realized what kind of village it was. It was a pillager village. Uh-oh, time to run. Pillagers chased me, but I managed to get away without losing my life. Later that evening, I took the simple supplies I had collected to start making myself a house to stay in. If those pillagers found me, at least I would have some walls to protect me. Soon, the hut was complete, and I settled in for the night. On day 3, I awoke to a knock on the door. Who could that be? I opened the door and saw it was Captain America. Or well, I guess it was just Steve Rogers. He wasn't looking so good. Steve, what's wrong? You're not looking like your normal fit self.
I was worried something had happened to you. I see now I was right. Your friend Ironmonger is to blame for this. I was minding my own business when he suddenly came out of nowhere. I don't know how he did it, but he managed to take away all of my powers. We might not be strong enough to help him right now, but we need to hurry and warn the others he's coming for him.
That's a good point. Let's stick together while we figure this out. Steve agreed, and so we figured it would be good to start building a proper base. We did some scouting around and soon found a nice cliffside that would work perfect. I didn't have my powers, but I could still get shipments of stuff sent to me. After a bit, an express delivery with all the supplies we'd need showed up, and we got to work. Building a house on a cliff like this reminded me of my mansion in Malibu. It wasn't going to be quite like that, but I was hoping to eventually make something just as impressive. Soon, the beginning of our base was complete. Thanks for your help, Pete. We'll let you know if anything else comes up. On days 4 to 5, Steve came over to talk. He wanted to know if I knew where any other superheroes superheroes were. Sorry, buddy, I don't. I really wish I did, though.
Well, you're a pretty smart guy, right? Is there something you could invent?
I thought it was a good question, but nothing came to mind. I stared at my empty crafting table when suddenly I had an idea. Oh wait, maybe that could work. I headed out to the caves to gather the materials I would need. If I could just get everything I would need, this special item would be the perfect solution to our problem. By the time I had made it into the deepest part of the cave, I had already managed to make myself some iron gear. It was about to come in handy as I was suddenly attacked by a bunch of magma cubes. Alright, boxheads, you're just what I was looking for. I swung my sword and managed to take a few of them out. As they disappeared, they dropped some charged coal. Once the threat was taken care of, I also found some nearby palladium, which I happily mined up. Alright, that's everything I'm going to need. Let's make this special item. I soon arrived back at the house and got right to it, smelting down the palladium into ingots.
I also needed a compass, which Steve gave to me.
At long last, the final pieces were starting to come together. I went to the crafting table and used the palladium, charged coal, and compass to make my special item, a superhero radar. Sure hope this works. Steve and I headed into another room, and I set the radar down in the center. I placed a lever on the wall and flipped it. The radar started to make a sound, and a purple line came out of it. That line is pointing us to a nearby superhero. Now we can help them. On day 6 to 8, I checked the radar again to get a clear direction of where to go. I told Steve to hang back at the base and keep an eye on the radar, just in case anyone else popped up on it. Let's go see who it's gonna be. I left the base and ran off in the direction the radar had indicated. Hopefully I could get to them in time. After a bit of traveling, I soon reached a village, but it looks like the place was abandoned. Hello, is there anyone here?
Thought it was you stomping around.
Black Widow had come out of nowhere. Natasha, I can't believe I found you. There's no time to explain, but I need you to come with me.
Listen, I don't trust anyone that much, even you. You're gonna have to give me some kind of explanation.
Okay, Steve is back at my base, and you see neither of us have our powers anymore. So we've got to hurry to get out of here, or the same will happen to you.
Don't have your powers. Who or what did that to you?
Ironmonger! It was an answer to her question, but also an exclamation. He had popped up out of nowhere. Black Widow had sprung into action, trying to fight him off. I was still too weak though, and had to run away. Hang in there, Natasha. They continued to fight, but it was no use. Ironmonger was too quick, and managed to hit her with a special gun. He had taken away all of her special abilities.
Huh. I don't know what you two are up to, but knock it off. Go live normal lives like the ordinary people you are.
Before he could do us any more harm, we ran away. I couldn't believe he was able to do it again. On days 9 to 10, Black Widow and I arrived back at the base. We met up with Steve.
Natasha, it's good to see you. Wait, did something happen?
It was Ironmonger. I had gotten there in time, but he showed up and was able to steal her power.
Oh no, did you see where he went?
No, we had to get out of there. I hate this feeling. I've never felt so useless.
It's okay. Keep your head on straight.
I need some time to clear my head. I decided to get to work, building Natasha her own place to stay at the base. It was good to have a project to keep my mind busy. I couldn't believe I was beaten by my own friend. Soon, Natasha's room was complete. On days 11 to 12, I went to check the machine and saw there was a new signal, but this time it was different.
What is it? What does it mean?
Not 100% sure. It's a new invention that even I don't understand completely.
Well, if it's pointing to a friendly, it's worth a shot trying to save him.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, Cap. What good are we as rescuers if we can't really rescue someone? Ironmonger is just going to show up again.
You don't know that. And come on, you know there's more to this than just being the strongest.
That's certainly something coming from you. I'll see what I can find. I left the base and headed in the direction the radar was pointing. As I looked around, I felt like I wasn't seeing anything. That's when I realized I was back at the place I had crashed on day 1. Suddenly, I noticed something nearby on the ground. I picked it up. Jarvis, is that you? What are you doing out here, buddy?
Hello, sir. I'm delighted to see you have found me.
So am I. How are you?
I am here, but I am damaged. I am sorry for the loss you have suffered.
So am I, buddy. But hey, do you think you can help? You've got all that information from my suit stored in your memory, don't you?
I do, or rather I believe I do. My memory banks have been damaged, but it seems plausible they can be recovered. We will need to find the correct materials in order to recover it.
Sure, we can do that. I built a suit once, I can surely do it again. What's on that materials list of yours? Jarvis gave me the list of what I needed, and I headed off, right away. On days 13 to 15, I arrived at some caves, and headed on in to gather up the materials Jarvis had mentioned. First, I gathered up a bunch of iron, which was one of the main things I would need. Then I found some titanium, which was also going to come in handy. Alright, that should be everything I need from here. I then left the cave and found myself in a herd of cows. I took some of the cows out in order to get some leather. That was all the ingredients I was going to need. Time to get back to the base. On days 16 to 19, I made it back to the base and went into my garage. It was crafting time. I put the iron in the furnace and started smelting iron ingots. Then it was titanium's turn, which started smelting into titanium ingots. While the ores were smelting, I then opened a nearby chest and grabbed some glass I had. Then at the crafting table, I added the glass to some iron and palladium to make myself a new arc reactor. At last, power! With my new palladium arc reactor, I could start to put together a new suit. I grabbed the ingots I needed out of the furnace, then used iron, titanium, leather, and the arc reactor to make myself a chest plate. Oh yeah, here we go. With the chest plate finished, I then used the rest of my materials and made the leggings, boots, and of course, the helmet. This isn't the best suit I've ever made. In fact, it's just as good as the first one I built in a cave in the desert, but it'll be better than having nothing.
Hey, what have we got here?
Steve and Natasha had walked into the garage.
You built a new suit. It's gonna be so good.
good for you. How did you pull it off?
It was with the help of Jarvis. I found him at the crash site. His memory is damaged, but he remembered enough to help me build the suit.
Think that's a good idea?
Do you think it's not?
No, it's great. It's just that you said Jarvis was damaged. I'd hate to see something go wrong.
I assured him that Jarvis was working well enough to help me make the suits again without putting any of us in danger. That seemed like an excuse though. Steve was probably just jealous I was getting my powers back and he wasn't. Before I could say anything else though, Natasha mentioned that she and Steve had gotten more food and stored it in the kitchen. All that crafting had made me hungry. I went over there to cook up some steak. This is going to be much better than Wild Rabbit, that's for sure. When the steak was ready, I scarfed it down. Delicious! I then went and started to make some more upgrades to the base. I was a man of luxury, so I decided the house needed a swimming pool. I picked a good spot and got the thing installed. All this building has given me an idea for one more big project. I headed out and got to work building a statue. These were dark times, and there was always one thing that could be a light in the darkness. Let me know what you think I'm building. Soon, the first part was complete. On days 20 to 22, I heard a notification go off on the radar, telling me another superhero had been found. I went and told Steve and Natasha the good news. They both wanted to come with to find who it was, but I told them it might be good for just me to go, given that I was the only one who had regained any of my power. As I put my suit on, I saw my health increase to 8 hearts. I was also stronger and had a flamethrower attack. It was time to help our fellow superhero. As I got closer to the place the radar was pointing me to, I saw a large tower in the middle of the forest. I knew just who I'd find inside. As I reached the top, I could see Dr. Strange was there. Steven, be on your guard. Ironmonger is running around stealing everyone's power.
What?
He immediately got ready to fight. It was just in time too, as Ironmonger came flying over, firing down on us.
The good doctor. I think you've got just what I'm looking for.
Dr. Strange was ready though, and he started to put up a good fight. Ironmonger was going to have a much harder fight this time. I may have spoke too soon though, as Ironmonger managed to land a hard hit, knocking out Dr. Strange. Ironmonger lifted his weapon and started draining Dr. Strange's power. I had to do something. Oh no you don't. Even though I wasn't super strong, I charged in and managed to stop Ironmonger from taking all the power. Problem was, he was now focused on me. Dr. Strange was back in the fight though, and together we put up a good fight. In the end, we managed to hurt Ironmonger enough that he backed down.
This isn't the last you've seen of me.
He flew off. Steven, are you okay?
I still have some of my powers, but I'm definitely weaker than before. I need to go rest.
Dr. Strange opened a portal and walked through it. Well, that was a quick exit, but at least we could stop him from losing everything. I better get back to the base and see who else we can help. On days 23 to 26, I was on my way back to the base when Jarvis piped up with some helpful information.
Sir, my sensors are indicating a lot of silver nearby. I think that could help.
Jarvis then told me what direction to go, and I headed there right away. As I arrived at the location he was sending me to, I didn't see anything. Are you sure this is the right place? There doesn't seem to be anything here.
The silver may be beneath something, but I'm 99% sure it is here.
Well, guess I better start breaking blocks. I started breaking things as I looked around and soon saw an entrance to a dungeon. What is this all about? As I went deeper into the dungeon, I ran into a bunch of piglins. You piggies better watch out. That's when I noticed that they had all kinds of materials stored down here. Hope you guys don't mind if I use some of this stuff. As I fought my way through the gang of piglins, I noticed that they dropped silver ingots.
There, sir. The silver I was detecting.
I happily picked the silver up and continued to fight the piglins. There were hoglins around as well, and they were a tough challenge. But I was up for the fight and soon made it to the dungeon's boss, a piglin brute with armor. You look strong, but I'm stronger. It turned out I was right. The piglin brute was really strong after all. He knocked me back, but I stayed in the fight. He wasn't going to get the better of me. After a long fight, I finally took him out. He didn't drop anything. But look, a chest. I went over to the chest, which was filled with silver. This should be more than enough. I hurried back out of the cave. On days 27 to 31, I arrived back at my base. I met back up with the team to tell them the good news. Guys, I was able to find Dr. Strange, and together we were able to fight off Ironmonger. Dr. Strange was weakened, but he was able to keep his powers. Everyone was really excited to hear the good news and couldn't believe Ironmonger had shown up again. Everyone, that is, except Steve.
He kept his powers, huh? Well, good for him, I guess.
I didn't know why Steve wasn't excited like everyone else. He really must be jealous someone else got to keep their powers. I left the room and went to work on a new set of armor. With all the new silver I'd collected, I was going to be able to build an even better suit. I took my time making each set, and soon I had a full set of Iron Man Mark II armor. Oh yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. With my new suit on, I noticed I had more health than before. I still couldn't fly yet, but I could jump a little higher and felt stronger too. I showed it off to the gang, and everyone was really impressed. If I kept finding more materials, I would be back to full strength in no time. I had to find more materials. On days 32 to 35, I decided to see what else Jarvis could find for me. I'm thinking of adding some more weapons to the suit. What do you think it can handle?
Scans show it is not strong enough to handle your repulsor cannon, but there is something else that might work. We'll have to travel far away, but I believe it will be worth it.
Show me the way. Jarvis explained the way to go, and eventually we made it to an entirely new biome. All right, Jarvis, what direction?
Down, sir.
It looked like it was time to dig. I think I knew what he had in mind. I kept digging and digging and soon made it into a magma chamber. Let me guess, we need some lava.
No, sir. We're searching for a very specific mob. It should be here.
I started to explore. Could you tell me what I'm looking for? Just then, I almost ran into a monster. It was a mutant blaze. Yikes, thanks for the warning.
Sorry, sir, but my sensors aren't quite as sharp down here.
The mutant blaze's fire attacks were strong, but my new armor was doing its job. I was taking much less damage than I normally would have. I'm gonna put you out, Firehead. I kept on swinging, and at long last, defeated the blaze. As he disappeared, I saw he had dropped a blaze core.
The blaze core. That is just what we need, sir.
On days 36 to 39, I made it out of the hole and headed back towards the base. As I arrived back at the base, I went to the crafting area and got right to work on the new suit attachment. Using the blaze core, I was able to make myself a flamethrower. Oh yeah, I'm starting to heat up now. I called the others over and showed them my new toy.
Whoa, that new flamethrower is so hot right now.
Natasha was really excited about it, but Steve less so. No surprise there, he was just jealous. On days 40 to 43, I heard the power detector going off again. It must have found another superhero. Maybe with my new gear, I can even defeat Ironmonger this time. I let the others know that I would head out by myself again. Until they could get their powers, it just didn't make sense to put them in harm's way. I would handle everything. I set off in search of the superhero, and soon found myself in a thick forest. Hello, is there anyone around here? I kept shouting and looking around, but couldn't find anyone. All I saw were a bunch of bats flying around. Suddenly, they attacked me. What the? Get away from me! Using my new attacks, I managed to fight off the bats, but then I was attacked by some wolves. This forest is crazy! What's going on around here? The wolves snapped their teeth and swung their claws, but I was able to keep them away and knock them out. I still don't see anyone, but it's starting to get late. I better build a shelter for the night. I soon found a nice clearing and got right to work building a shelter. After a bit, my camp was set up. Time to get some sleep. I'll keep looking in the morning. On days 44 to 49, I woke up in the middle of the night to a rumbling sound. What was that? I ran outside and saw there was a huge castle that had appeared out of nowhere. Well, nothing else to do but take a look. I ran into the castle and was suddenly attacked by a whole bunch of spooky mobs. There were bats and all kinds of skeleton creatures. I had to fight for my life. Back off, you undead creatures. You'll never take me alive. I kept fighting my way through the castle until finally I saw something different than the mobs. It was Blade. Blade, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? I've tracked a vampire to this castle and I'm so close to finally beating him.
I've come to warn you. Ironmonger is going around stealing power from superheroes. You've got to get out of here.
Thanks for the warning, but I've come too far to quit. I don't see Ironmonger anywhere, so I think I have time to finish my mission.
Well, let me help. Together we can get it done even faster. We soon noticed a coffin and walked up to it to take a look. We opened it, but it was a trap.
Oh no, what is this? I can't move.
Me either. Jarvis, clear this gas out of my suit. Jarvis got right to work, but he wasn't quick enough. Ironmonger had shown up.
Huh, stay still. This won't hurt at all.
Ironmonger used a special item and was able to take away Blade's powers. Jarvis had just cleared the gas from my suit though, and I was ready to fight.
I thought I told you to keep out of this.
Ironmonger didn't stick around to fight me, but instead released the vampire before flying away. Without his powers, Blade was in for a real fight. Come on, Blade, I'll help you. Blade and I got to work swinging at the vampire. Even without his powers, Blade was a good fighter, getting lots of hits in. He wasn't good enough though, and the vampire was able to really hurt him. You'll pay for that! I started attacking him even more than before and could tell I was starting to win. When he was at his weakest, Blade jumped forward and knocked him out with a stake for good.
Thanks for your help. I couldn't have done this without you. Here, take this stake. You never know when it could come in handy.
Thanks, I'll be sure to keep it close. I'm sorry about your powers. How about you come back to my base with me and we can figure this out?
That sounds like just what I need right now.
On days 50 to 53, Blade and I returned to the base. Then we met up with Natasha and told her what had happened.
I'm sorry to hear it didn't work out this time. It sounds like he's getting smarter.
I'm sorry too. But hey, where's Steve?
Oh, he said he had some errands to run and left. He didn't tell me what those errands were.
That's odd. Just then, Steve came back to the base.
Sorry about that. I was just collecting some more materials to upgrade the base. I thought you could use some new materials for our new guest.
That was a fair point. He was right too. Blade needed a place to stay. Using some of the materials Steve had gathered, I was able to put together a room for Blade. Steve had also mentioned wanting a training room, so I got to work on that. Just because they had lost their powers didn't mean they couldn't stay in shape. Soon, everything was complete. On days 54 to 57, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. I decided I needed to talk to Natasha in private. Hey, I wanted to ask, has Steve been acting strange to you?
Now that you mention it, he has. I haven't seen him do anything strange specifically, but he doesn't seem like he's been his normal self. I usually try and let people just do their own thing.
You see, the thing is, Ironmonger always seems to show up right around the same time I do. I'm not saying Steve is somehow tipping him off, but I want to be sure he's not involved.
Say no more. The next time you guys go, I'll keep an eye on him. That would be strange, but we'll feel better if we can rule it out.
Thanks, Nat. I appreciate it. I then reached out to Jarvis to help with the next stage of rigging up the superpower detector. If Steve was really tricking us, I needed to get the super detector to trick him. Jarvis said he knew what I needed to get, but there were some special items I needed to collect first. Let's get exploring. On days 58 to 62, Jarvis led me to a cave that was filled with spiders. I was pretty strong at this point, and these spiders were no match for me. I easily knocked them out of the way. Aha! There's the gold ore you wanted me to get. I quickly mined up all the gold I needed, then hurried back to the base. There, I crafted some special wiring out of gold and took it to the superpower detector. After I attached the new wiring, the detector started to go off. Everyone came running into the room. The detector found another super. Hang tight, guys. I'll go get them and help them out. Everyone agreed, and as I went to leave, I gave Natasha a nod to let her know the plan was on. She nodded back. I soon reached a mountaintop where the detector was pointing me to. Of course, no one was here, but I needed to put on a good show. Oh, hey, Thor. I can't believe you're here. Just then, Ironmonger popped out.
Aha! Huh?
I was ready for him and gave him a good hit.
What the? There's no Thor here. I can't believe I've been betrayed and tricked like this.
What do you mean betrayed? How did you know I would be here?
I've said too much.
Ironmonger flew away. Something was definitely going on. I hurried back to the base. As I arrived, I could see Natasha was waiting for me.
You're not gonna believe this.
What happened?
After you left, I followed Steve just like you asked. Once he had gotten far enough away from the base, I saw him pull out a communication device. I got close enough to hear who he was talking to. It was Ironmonger.
You're right. I can't believe this. We've got to confront him right away. On days 63 to 66, I headed into the base to find Steve. I soon found him.
Hey, you weren't gone for very long. Did you find anyone?
There was no one there, but you probably already knew that.
What do you mean? How could I have known that?
Because you've been in contact with your friend, Ironmonger. Give it up, Steve. We know.
You don't know anything.
Just then, Steve started to transform. Suddenly, Steve was gone, and Mandarin was standing there. Mandarin! So it's been you all along. I should have known it was someone evil trying to trick us.
Well, you just aren't very smart, are you? You've been leading us to superheroes this entire time.
What do you want with us?
I've been absorbing all of the powers. Soon, you'll be unable to stop me. I was hoping I could wait for you to build another supersuit so I could steal its powers too, but no matter. You'd never stop me.
I leapt forward to attack him, but he was right. He was really strong. He knocked me out of the way and was able to escape. He wasn't fully powered up yet, but if he was this strong already, we were going to be in real trouble. On days 67 to 70, I went to talk to Natasha and Blade. I couldn't believe I had been tricked. I apologized to them for leading Mandarin right to them.
Don't worry about it. You were trying your best. Now that we know who we're really up against, we have a better chance of stopping him.
Thanks, Nat. I appreciate the support. And speaking of support, I appreciate all of you watching too. After this video, search for more Zozo. Z-O-Z-O.
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've managed to repair my memory banks and unlocked a new design for another part of the suit.
Oh, that's great news. What do we need to build it?
It looks like we'll be needing some diamonds, but I'm not detecting any on my scanner.
You need diamonds? I haven't seen any underground, but while I was tracking the vampire, I stayed in a village full of them. I'll tell you where to go.
Blade explained where the village was, and I set off to find it. I soon arrived and saw that Blade wasn't lying. There were diamonds everywhere here. The villagers had all kinds of diamond tools and armor. Hey there, nice armor. Do you guys have any extra diamonds you could spare?
I might have some, but I can't just give you them for free.
That's understandable. How much do they cost?
You know, we've had quite a bit of a problem here, and if you can solve that problem, I'll give you everything we can spare.
Sounds like it must be a pretty big problem then.
Yeah, there's a monster that has started living in our diamond mine, and we haven't been able to go in there for weeks. Take care of that monster for us, and we'll give you our spare diamonds.
Okay, I'll do it. Tell me where to go. On day 71 to 74, I arrived at the diamond mine, but the place looked abandoned. I guess the monster really cleared this place out. Better see what I can find. I went into the cave but didn't see any diamonds. I didn't see anything for that matter. The place was super dark. As I went deeper into the mine, I placed torches to help me see. The mine kept going deeper and deeper. I was starting to wonder if it would ever end. At long last, I reached what seemed to be the final room. There's nothing here. Maybe the monster left or something. Just then, I noticed that the torches I had placed along the wall were starting to go out. One by one, they broke, getting closer and closer to me. Suddenly, the vampire from before appeared. What? I thought we defeated you. The vampire smirked and then attacked. He was even stronger than before, and this time he had some tricks up his sleeve too. He burst into a ball of smoke, summoning a group of bats. What in the world? This is crazy! The vampire had disappeared. I had to defeat these bats. I ran around trying to cut down as many as I could. Suddenly, I felt a hit. The vampire had reappeared. Get out of here, Dracula! I still couldn't believe this guy was still around, but I guess it's true. Vampires can never really be defeated. That's when I remembered. The stake! The vampire was getting weak now, and it was time to finish him off. I grabbed my stake and hit him, finishing him off. He would be back eventually, but at least I could get my diamonds in the meantime. I hurried back into the village and met up with the villager. It's done. The monster is gone. Now let's see about those diamonds.
Amazing, you saved us. Here, you can have everything we have to spare.
The villager tossed out a single diamond. I gave him a look. I thought you said you were going to give me all the diamonds you have to spare.
I did. We only have 1 diamond to spare.
Jarvis piped up.
That should be all we need, sir.
Thanks. Well, here, you guys might need this. I tossed him the steak and headed off, back to the base. On days 75 to 78, I arrived back at the base. It was time to make what Jarvis had remembered. As I went to the crafting table, Jarvis told me what I needed to do to craft a new repulsor. It wasn't my full suit, but at least it was a stronger weapon than before. Just then, Natasha came into the room.
You've got your repulsor up and running? That's great.
Yeah, problem is, I don't know where to go to find Ironmonger or Mandarin.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. When I heard Steve, or I guess Mandarin, talking to Ironmonger, I thought I could hear some machines in the background.
Blade came into the room.
Machines. There's a factory not too far from here. Maybe he's hiding out in there.
It's worth a shot. I'm not sure where else to look. They all agreed, and I decided that before I would leave, I would go ahead and finish the statue. It took a lot of hard work to get it done, but I soon had it all finished in no time. So what do you guys think? Did you guess what it was correctly? On days 79 to 84, I soon arrived at the factory Blade had told me about. I'm not sure if this is right, but we'll find out. As I got closer, I was suddenly attacked by a group of zombies. If there were zombies around here, there was a good chance Ironmonger or Mandarin were around too. I managed to fight through the wave, but avoided using my repulsor. In case Ironmonger was watching, I didn't want him to know I had it. Soon, all of the zombies were defeated. On days 85 to 89, I entered into the base. That's when I saw Ironmonger standing amongst a bunch of zombies trapped in cases of liquid. What are you doing?
I knew you would show up here eventually. I'm doing what needs to be done. You superheroes think you can just do whatever you want. Zombies can be controlled, so I'm taking your powers and giving them to them. Then I will control all the powers on Earth.
Oh, I see. You don't want to stop superpowers. You just want to be in charge of them yourself. I won't let you get away with this.
Huh. You've been trying to stop me this entire time and have never beat me. Today, I will finish you for good.
We'll see about that. Ironmonger flew up in the air as a door opened, letting zombies into the room. There were a ton of them. Uh-oh, I better take care of these first. I ran around the room trying to take out as many zombies as I could. This was a tough fight with so many things going on at once. I had to defeat Ironmonger though. My friends were going to need all of their powers back. Where is Mandarin hiding?
You'll never find him, because you'll never leave here.
Ironmonger and I were now fighting each other directly, and it was getting intense. He hadn't expected all of my upgrades though, and I was really hurting him.
How did you get so strong? I thought I took everything away from you.
A suit isn't a brain, and that's what's going to defeat you. I fired my repulsor at him and took him out for good. As he disappeared, I saw he had dropped some unique parts, which I picked up.
Sir, we can use these materials to remake your strongest suit.
Yes, now we just need to find Mandarin and get everyone's powers back. Let's do this. On days 90 to 94, I made it back to the base. I ran right over to Natasha and Blade to tell them the good news. I was able to defeat Ironmonger. The bad news is that he was trying to inject zombies with your powers.
That's horrible. It's a good thing you beat him, though.
Speaking of, any way to get our powers back?
Before I left, I saw he had some kind of machine that must be storing your powers. If you guys go there, you may be able to get them back.
Right on. Thanks for all of your help.
You've got it. Now I've got to get to work returning to my final form. I rushed over to the garage as the others set off for the factory. Using the materials Ironmonger had dropped, I got to work building my final Mark III version of my armor. After a lot of hard work, my armor was restored. Yes, it's going to feel so good to fly again. I ran up the stairs of the house and over to a balcony. Here we go. I jumped off and nothing happened. I landed in the water below. Jarvis, what's going on?
Sorry, sir, but while your suit has been restored, the flying capabilities still need some repairs.
Don't you think you could have told me that before I jumped off the cliff?
My apologies, sir.
It's okay, no harm done. Now where do we need to go? On days 95 to 97, Jarvis instructed me that we would be heading to the Nether, so I got to work building a Nether portal. I hadn't been able to get a diamond pickaxe, so I had to get creative. By using lava and some water, I managed to fashion a Nether portal together. It took a bit to get it all done, but soon I had my own Nether portal ready to go. All right, Jarvis, show me the way. I stepped into the portal and soon found myself in the Nether. This place always gives me the creeps. Let's make this quick. There was some quartz nearby, so I quickly ran over to it and mined it up. Luckily, that was all I needed, so with my pockets full, I jumped back into the portal. Back in the garage, I got right to work, crafting the flight module. It didn't take too long, and soon, it was all complete. I walked back towards the cliff, jumped off, and it worked. Yahoo! I'm a flying man once again. I took some time flying around, feeling good that I was finally powered up. Just then, Jarvis delivered some interesting news.
Sir, the superhero detector at the base is going off. The signals are off the charts.
I hurried back to the base and went into the detector detector room. The machine was going crazy. This signal is way too strong for it to be Natasha and Blade getting their powers back. Mandarin must be up to something. It was time to take him down. On day 98, I headed off in the direction the detector was pointing. Not too much later, I saw a giant base rising out of the ground. This has to be Mandarin's base. Just then, I was attacked by a bunch of zombies. Oh no, he must be trying to do the same thing Ironmonger was. I've got to get to him, and quick. I was so strong that I knocked the zombies out of the way, no problem. But there was still a lot of them. I also couldn't help but notice some of them were stronger than others. I had to hurry and get to the top. Out of the way, zombros. I kept firing my repulsor cannon until at long last, all of the zombies were defeated. I ran over to the stairs and started heading up to the top. As I got close, I passed a sign in the distance. Oh, subscribe! You should do that right now. And once this adventure is over, go look up some more of my other ones. Just search Zozo, Z-O-Z-O, to find them. On day 99, I reached the top of the tower and saw Mandarin floating in the sky. Wait, how are you floating?
Impressive, isn't it? You're too late. I've absorbed your friend's powers, and now you'll never be able to defeat me.
No, I don't believe it. I'm going to knock their powers out of you.
Bring it on, rich boy.
Mandarin started firing energy blasts at me, causing some big explosions. I returned fire, launching attacks with my repulsor cannon. I had to be careful though. Getting caught in those explosions really hurt.
The time of the superheroes is over, and the time of the supervillain has begun.
I managed to get a hit in with my repulsor, which stopped his monologue. But suddenly, a bunch of yellow smoke appeared, and Mandarin was gone. Where did he go?
Looking for me?
Mandarin reappeared, launching more energy blasts. He could teleport now. This wasn't looking good. I had started to fly around, but this was tough. I was hanging in there, but I didn't know how long I could last.
What's wrong? Am I too strong? Let me make this easier for you and finish this.
There was another plume of yellow smoke, and Mandarin copied himself. I was getting attacked from all sides. Oh no, he's too strong. I was taking out some of his clones, but there was no way I could keep this up. I finally took out the clones, but took a heavy hit. One more hit, and it was all done for me. I removed my mask.
I'm going to enjoy this. You have been a thorn in my side for too long.
Suddenly, a portal opened, and all of my friends came running through, including Doctor Strange and Captain America.
Thought I ought to pay you back. This guy stole my face. That's America's face, not his.
We were able to get our powers back.
All thanks to you. Now let's return the favor.
Well, aren't we all just one big happy family? Well, you're too late. I'm not just as strong as all of you. I'm stronger.
Mandarin cloned himself again, and we all started to fight. It was on now. He was still strong, but there was no way he could take us all down, because even though we might be equal in power, we had something he didn't. Friendship.
No, it can't be. How can I be losing?
We had defeated all of his clones and surrounded him in the center of the platform. Well, thanks for playing. Tell Ironmonger we say hello.
No!
I blasted him with my repulsor, destroying him for good. My friends and I all gathered together. Steve, I was wondering what had happened to you. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, the doctor here came and found me. By the time we met up with the other two, they had just gotten their powers. We came here right away.
Just in time, too. Suddenly, another portal opened, and Hulk came through. Wait a second, this isn't where I was trying to go. Where's Abomination? Uh-oh, that Hulk sounds like me. Looks like me from another video somehow wound up here. Can you help him get back? After this video is over, go watch my Hulk video. On day 100, we had all arrived back at the base. The world was safe once again, and everyone had their powers. But we would stay vigilant and keep an eye out. You never know when trouble could strike again. On day 1, I spawned in as a medieval knight. And look at that, I already have iron gear and 10 hearts. It was a good thing I had the gear, because I was immediately attacked by a group of hoglins. Where did you guys come from? Since I had an iron sword, I was able to defeat the first few with no problems. The last, however, started to run away. Hey, get back here! The hoglin ran into the woods and I ran after him, but soon I couldn't see which way he went. Which way did he go? I ran in the direction he had been going before and soon stumbled on a large fort in the distance. I could see the hoglin looking down at me from the second floor. I started running toward the entrance of the fort when suddenly the ground opened up and I fell into a dark hole. Ah! 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 Why am I still falling? Just as I was starting to think I might be falling forever, I suddenly landed in a pool of water. Where am I? I swam out of the pool and saw I was in a dimly lit, dark underground area. And what was this? Now I only have 5 hearts? I was so confused. Maybe this was all just a bad dream. I saw a good spot to rest and set up a small camp. Maybe if I could fall asleep, I could wake up from this nightmare. On day 2, I woke up, still in the same place. I decided it was best that I look around and try to find out what was going on. Level 100. I guess I better see what's behind this door. I climbed up the stairs and saw another door, which was also labeled. Level 99. Okay, interesting. I'm guessing level 1 is how I get out of here. This is gonna be quite the journey. I better start looking for the door up. As I walked further into the room, I realized that this didn't look like a room at all. The area was a dark jungle, and there was even a sky. This must be some kind of powerful magic. I better start start collecting some supplies. Who knows what could be hiding out here? I started by knocking some cocoa beans off a tree, then started punching the trees to collect some wood. After I had gathered a decent amount, I started walking through the trees to look for a door. I soon found a nice pond to stop at to rest. As I rested, I was suddenly attacked by a pack of mungi. What did I do to you? These little guys were vicious. If you saw them from afar, you would probably think they were pretty cute, but it turns out they were all just a bunch of little imposters. Shouldn't you little minions be helping a supervillain somewhere? They put up a tough challenge, but my iron sword was too much for them, and ultimately, they were all defeated. Sheesh, I gotta hurry and find that door. I kept wandering through the forest and eventually saw something glowing off in the distance. Is that it? Is this the door to the next level? I opened it up and headed up the stairs. On day 3, I emerged onto level 98. Okay, it looks like that was the door to the next level. I'm glad I didn't run into any more mobs, but I'll have to keep an eye out. Turned out I needed to keep an ear out too, because just then, I heard someone calling for help.
Help me! Can someone help?
Who could that be? I rushed toward the sound of the voice and stumbled upon a man being attacked by a group of mungi. Uh-oh, not more of these fun guys. I hopped in with my iron sword and started slashing away. I could tell they had nearly killed this poor guy. What do you think you're doing? You belong in soup. I swung away until there was only one left, and as I killed the last one, my iron sword broke. Well, I'm glad they're gone, but so is my only weapon. Anyway, how are you doing, buddy? The man rose to his feet. He was clearly hurt, but was hanging on.
That was a close one. Thank you for rescuing me. I was a dead man for sure.
No problem. Say, do you know what's going on here?
Well, one moment I was walking through the forest looking to sell my wares. I'm a traveling merchant, you see. And the next I was falling down what seemed to be an eternal pit. I landed at the bottom and have been trying to make my way out ever since.
Sounds like we're in the same boat. If we stick together, we can get out of here faster.
C'est magnifique. Let's do it. Oh, zoot.
The merchant tried to take a couple of steps, but his leg was clearly hurt.
It's my leg. But do not fret, mon ami. We will persevere. By the way, my name is Benoit. What is yours?
The name's Zozo.
Zozo what?
Just Zozo. Sorry, I phrased that weird. Let's go! On days 4 to 5, we had made our way up a few floors to level 95. On the previous floor, I had crafted some wooden tools to fend off some weaker mobs, but nothing too major had happened. Benoit's leg was keeping us from moving too fast, but everything was going well so far. Hey, it looks like there's some stone deposits up ahead. Let's try and get some stones for new tools. Benoit took a seat while I got out my wooden pickaxe and started mining out some stone. After I had mined out a decent amount, I put down my crafting table and fashioned together a full set of stone tools. I also made an extra sword so Benoit could defend himself. Here you go, Benoit, just in case anything happens. Using my new stone pickaxe, I decided to keep mining into the stone deposit. Maybe I could find some iron. As I continued to dig through, I couldn't believe what I found. Is this the next door? Why was it buried under the stone? These doors aren't going to be as easy to find as I thought. I opened the door and sure enough, there was a staircase leading up to the next level. Come on, Benoit, let's see what's waiting for us ahead. On days 6 through 8, we reached level 93, and I noticed things were a little different than the other floors. A few monkeys scampered by, and I could see an arena up ahead. Something doesn't feel right. Benoit, I think you should hang back while I go check things out. I approached the building slowly, but I didn't see anything, so I stepped inside. Just then, I heard a thump as a big bun fungus slowly emerged from the shadows and into the light. Easy there, big guy.
Carrot, give me carrot.
I don't have a carrot, but maybe we can find you something else.
Give carrot or you carrot.
Me carrot? I'm not a carrot.
No, you carrot. I eat carrot.
Me no carrot.
You carrot.
No carrot.
Carrot.
The bun fungus lunged at me and attacked. Our conversation wasn't really going anywhere, so it was probably best just to get into it. I'm not a carrot. Knock it off. For as silly as he was, the bun fungus was really strong. Clearly, he was always eating his carrots, which was contributing to his powerful blows. How about you take a bite of this? I swung my sword again and again as he chased me around the arena. He was getting some hits in, but I was holding my own. After a hard-fought battle, I was able to land the final blow, and the bun fungus was defeated. As he disappeared, I noticed he had also dropped a compass and a small crystal. I took a look at the compass first. Door locator? Is this what I think it is? I took a closer look at the compass and could see the compass was pointing me in a direction. I'll have to see if that leads me to a door. But before that, I took a look at the crystal. I'm not sure what this is supposed to do exactly. What happens when I place it? I set the crystal down, and suddenly, an image of a princess began broadcasting out of it.
Hello there. I've been captured by the wizard who controls this fort, and am in need of someone like you to rescue me. Help me, brave adventure. You're my only hope.
Oh no, she must be in real trouble. I gotta get to the top. I headed back outside and met up with Benoit. I explained the situation and he agreed to help as much as he could. We took out the compass and headed in the direction it pointed us. We soon saw the door and headed inside, but this time there was something different, an elevator. I wonder what that's about. There was a staircase leading up to the next level, but next to the elevator was a power switch, so I flipped it on. Let's see where this goes. Benoit and I entered the elevator and hit the button inside. The elevator started to move. On days 9 through 11, we stepped out of the elevator into a large cave. Wait a second, this is the cave where I started. I took a look around to be sure, but there was no mistake. This was the same cave.
If this brings us back to this floor, that makes me think there will be more elevators on future floors. Maybe we can set up a base here.
That makes sense to me. How are you feeling?
Definitely better, but I don't know if I can keep going up the stairs. How about I get things started down here, and you go look for the princess?
That's a great plan. Before I go though, I think we should set up some kind of distraction to scare away any mobs that might try to come after you. I was thinking I could build a large statue.
Great idea.
I got straight to it working on the statue. I thought it should be something scary, but also something that could believably be in this world. After a bit, I had finished the first part. This is coming along great. Can you guess what it's going to be? With the first part complete, I headed back over to the elevator and stepped inside. There was just a button inside. I wonder how high it will take me. On days 12 to 14, I emerged from the elevator to see that I had returned to the same level as before. I must have to activate the elevator on a given floor to travel to it. Looks like there's no shortcuts. I then entered the door to the stairs nearby and headed up to the next floor. When I walked out, I saw that the biome was completely new. I was now in a swamp biome. This is a swamp, but the water looks off. In fact, it looks poisoned. To test this out, I headed to the edge of the water and tossed some wood I had into it. With the sizzle, the wood disintegrated completely. Oh, I'm gonna have to watch my step. Otherwise, that could be me. Unlucky for me, though. I could see my only way forward was going to be jumping on lily pads across the swamp. I sure hope those parkour lessons were worth it. I jumped ahead, landing on the lily pad. I had some close calls, too, as some of the lily pads were actually drop leaves. That could have easily dropped me into the poison. Phew, I'm glad I made it across. Well, let's find that door. I started heading in the direction of the next door. I really hope I'm not too late to save the princess. As I was walking, I was suddenly attacked by a giant mosquito. No hugs, no hugs. The mosquito was vicious. I tried to keep it away, but it kept wrapping itself around me, trying to bite me. It did some serious damage. Get off of me, you bloodthirsty psychopath. I managed to knock it back and hit the mosquito with my sword, finally defeating it. Look, I don't want to run into another one of those ever again. I kept following the compass and headed off to find the next door. On day 15, I had made my way to floor 85 when I saw a house in the distance. Another house. I wonder if there's another monster hiding inside. I gotta be careful. I took my sword out and started sneaking up to the door when the door swung open. Charge!
Wait!
I stopped running and realized it was just an old woman. Oh, sorry about that. I'm not used to meeting people who don't attack me.
That is quite all right. I'm not used to meeting new faces either. I've heard of many people coming to this place, but so far none of them have made it this far. You must be the most skilled of them all.
Thank you, but you mentioned others? What do you know of this place? The woman took a deep breath before beginning her story.
Hundreds of years ago, a young wizard lived alone in the mountains. In his isolation, he became a powerful wielder of magic. For a time, he would show others his magic, but was laughed at and bullied for being weird. Then one day, a young knight asked him for his help uniting the broken kingdom. The pair forged a powerful friendship, and peace was restored to the land. However, the young knight, now king, wanted the wizard to do more. He didn't just want peace in his kingdom, but he wanted to control the entire world. When the wizard refused, the king banished him. Now he lives here, capturing and toying with wayward knights and explorers as revenge for what his friend did to him.
That's awful. It almost makes me feel bad for him.
Don't. He didn't have to do this. He made his choice. He's nothing like the wizard he once was, and has been corrupted in his anger.
I see. Well, that helps. I better get going. The wizard has to be stopped. You should come with me.
Thank you for the offer, but I'm actually quite happy with the new life I've built. It suits me here. But I have something that should help you.
The old woman tossed out a potion of endurance. I picked it up and took a drink. Immediately I felt my strength returning, and I regained all 10 of my hearts. Oh wow, I feel amazing. Thank you for this.
You're very welcome, young man. Take this as well. You might find yourself needing it out there.
She threw out a poison resistance potion, which I picked up. Thanks again for all of your help. I'm sure we'll see each other again. On days 16 to 19, I was traversing the swamp when I came across a cave. These stone tools aren't going to cut it for much longer. I should see if I can find some iron in that cave. I headed into the cave and soon saw several iron ores. I got to mining and managed to mine a few of them. Alright, let's go see if I can get a few more. I started making my way down the cave when I heard a horrible roar. I turned around and saw a huge crocodile looking right at me. Uh-oh, this doesn't look good. The crocodile charged at me and attacked. His powerful jaws did a lot of damage. My stone sword felt like it was barely doing anything. My iron armor was pretty weak, and he even managed to break some of it. With armor missing, my health was really starting to drop, so I had no choice but to run away. Okay, you win this one. I ran back out of the cave, and luckily the crocodile didn't follow me out. Man, there was so much more iron in there. How much did I get? I took a look and saw I had gotten enough for maybe a couple of tools, but that was it. Well, I don't have enough to fix my armor and make new tools. I'll only be able to do one or the other. I decided that I would build a sword and do my best not to get hit. I quickly made a forge, smelted down the iron I had, and crafted an iron sword. This is gonna be a risky move, but who knows how likely I am to find more iron. I equipped my sword and snuck back into the cave. As I made my way, I could see the crocodile just up ahead. He hadn't noticed me. With the amount of armor I had left, I could probably only take a couple of hits. Here goes nothing. I sprang into action and started furiously swinging my sword. I jumped forward and back, doing my best to dodge the croc's bites. Despite my best efforts, he managed to get a hit in. Uh-oh, this is gonna be a close one. The crocodile snapped at me furiously, but at long last, I was able to land the fatal blow. Oh man, let's not do that again. With the crocodile out of the way, I mined out the rest of the iron I needed. With the freshly mined iron, I smelted it down and made myself a new set of iron armor, which I gratefully equipped. I'm feeling safer already. On to the next room. From days 20 to 22, I eventually found myself on floor 78, which looked extremely similar to the floor the bun fungus was on, or at least the building in front of me did. Okay, this building looks just like that other one. There's gotta be a scary monster hiding in this one. There was just one problem. The building was completely surrounded by poison water. How am I gonna get across this? I threw down a crafting table and quickly made a boat. I set the boat in the water, but it immediately started smoking and disappeared into the poison. That was when I remembered the poison resistance potion the old woman had given me. I drank it down and jumped into the water. I probably should have just dipped a toe in before jumping all the way in, but it seems to be working. As I crossed, I saw some clay at the bottom of the swamp, so I stopped and mined some of it out. I can use this for the statue. With the clay collected, I continued across the swamp and soon reached the other side. I made my way up to the opening of the arena and took a peek inside, but didn't see anything. The arena was filled with poison, but my potion had run out. I hopped across the drop leaves, just barely making it to the other side. Phew, that was a close one. I don't see anything though. What was that? Suddenly, a strange plant creature rose out of the swamp and started moving toward me. It was a whisperer. Alright, no need to panic. He let out a shriek and started to attack. This whisperer was insane. He would wave his arms, which caused plants to fly up from the ground. He also summoned a large flower that would attack me. Oh, I gotta get out of the way of these plants. I jumped around the arena, using the lily pads to try and get hits in, but his special attacks were making this difficult. The closer I can get, the better chance I'll have. It was risky having to jump across the poison pond, but if I couldn't get close enough to get hits in, there was no way I was going to win. You're not so tough at close range, are you? Finally was able to start wearing him down and let out a flurry of hits. Soon enough, he was down. As he disappeared, I noticed a chest on the other side of the room. What could be in here? I popped the chest open and saw it was full of gold ingots. I'm not sure what I'll do with these, but I'll hang on to them, just in case. With my new loot, I looked ahead and saw the door leading to the next level. Inside of it was another elevator. I flipped the nearby switch to activate it. I'll bet this takes me back to the first level. I should go see what Benoit is up to. I entered the elevator and headed down. On days 23 to 26, I re-entered the cave and saw that Benoit had been making some small improvements to the base. He had set up a small crafting and smelting area, but had another request for me.
Zozo, mon ami, could you give me a hand with this next project? I need a place to sell my wares.
I agreed, and we got to work building Benoit a shop. It seemed a little silly since, as far as I knew, I was the only customer he could have, but he was a nice guy and I wanted to help.
C'est bon, this shop is amazing. Merci, Zozo.
No problem. So have you got something to sell?
As a matter of fact, I do. If you have some money for me, I'd be happy to sell to you.
I don't have any money, but I do have some gold bars. Give me 1 second. I headed over to the crafting area and tossed out some of the gold bars. Using my pick, I managed to shape them into some gold coins. These should work great. I headed over to Benoit and asked him what he had in stock.
For now, the only item I have in stock is a bow and some arrows. I'm hoping to find some more inventory around the caves.
A bow could be really helpful, actually. I'll take it. I tossed Benoit some of my coins and took the bow and arrows off the shelf in return. With my new item, I was going to be even more deadly than before. On days 27 to 31, I decided I would do some work on the statue before heading back up the tower. Benoit seemed to be pretty safe so far, but the sooner we could finish the statue, the safer I felt he could be. Soon, I had finished the second part. Go ahead and put your guesses for what it will be in the comments. And while you're down there, feel free to hit subscribe and ring the bell. I love having you on these adventures with me. Next, I headed over to the elevator to take it back up the tower. On the next level, I saw I was now in a Badlands biome. Okay, I'm starting to see the pattern here. Looks like every so often there's a mini-boss, and then the next floors take place in a new biome. Interesting. I didn't have too long to think about it though, as I was suddenly attacked by a couple of tarantula hawks. Stay back, you buzzards! These guys weren't too big, but they were intense. I was actually really surprised by how strong they were, given their size. They were trying to keep their distance, but I was able to use my new bow to get hits on them. It didn't take too much longer, and I was able to take them all out of the sky. These mobs are getting tougher with each floor. I can't even imagine what's waiting for me on floor 1. That's when I noticed that the durability on my bow bow had greatly depleted. Hey, what's this? My bow isn't very durable. I'm gonna have to have a chat with Benoit about this later. On days 32 to 35, I had reached floor 64 when I noticed there was some terracotta nearby. Ooh, I'm gonna need that for the statue. I better go pick it up. I mined out a good portion of terracotta, then continued on my way. This Badlands area was huge. It's going to be tough to find the door. As I continued to explore, I nearly ran into a rattlesnake. Oh, watch out! I whipped out my sword and gave it a few strong swings, quickly taking it out. That was a close one.
Not too shabby.
I looked to the side and saw a small roadrunner was watching me.
I saw you fighting tarantula hawks earlier, as well as that snake. The tarantula hawks kidnapped my daughter. Would you be able to help me rescue her?
I'd be happy to help. Show me the way. The roadrunner pointed to where I needed to go and I set off. As I reached the area the roadrunner had mentioned, I realized I had made a mistake. Oh brother, this is obviously some kind of joke. The daughter was clearly a stuffed dummy, and there was a cage suspended right above it, plainly meant to trap me inside. What is this, some kind of kid's cartoon where a roadrunner tries to outsmart those around him? Like I'd fall for that. I took another step forward to get a better look, when suddenly the sand beneath my feet gave way, and I fell into a massive hole. I can't believe I fell for that. On days 36 to 39, I was still falling. This feels like the hole I fell into on day 1. Seconds later, I crashed into a pool of water. I looked around and yep, I was back in the starting cave. You've got to be kidding me, this place is full of jerks. Which reminds me, I need to talk to Benoit about that bow he sold me. I made my way back over to the base and saw Benoit standing in a shop. Hey, that bow you sold me nearly broke after one fight. I paid good money for this.
Oh dear Zozo, I am so sorry. I would never intentionally sell you a poor quality product. Please, let me give you a discount on the next item.
Okay, fair enough. What have you got? Benoit tossed out an enchanted fire aspect iron sword.
I think you'll find this sword is the quality you're looking for.
I closely looked over the sword and everything seemed to be in order. Even with the discount, it still cost me the rest of my gold. From there, I headed back into the elevator and eventually reached the floor I'd been on before. I could see the roadrunner not too far away. Hey you! What's the big idea? Throwing me down that pit? Upon hearing my voice, he jumped in the air and started running away. Hey, get back over here. I've got something to say to you. The roadrunner was fast. I did my best to keep up with him, but it looked like he was getting away. Lucky for me though, he ran into a dead end. Now you listen here, I'm getting really tired of these games. I walked over to him and hit him once with my new sword.
Ouch! Okay, don't hurt me. I'm just so bored and thought it would be a funny prank. You didn't actually get hurt, right?
No, but I didn't think it was very funny. I'm in a bit of a rush, so it's frustrating to have to go up all those stairs over and over again. I'll let you live, but don't mess with me. I left the roadrunner and headed in the direction of the next door. On days 40 to 43, I was exploring the new floor when I noticed something was following me. I turned around and caught a glimpse of who it was. That roadrunner again. He better not be up to something. But just then, a huge guster came out of nowhere and attacked me. This big guy was tough. I tried hitting him with my sword, but he seemed to be immune from the fire damage. He managed to hit me a few more times, and my health was getting seriously low. He even managed to suck me into his vortex and throw me into the air. It looks like this might be the end for me. But before the guster could deliver the final blow, the roadrunner jumped out and finished it off. Wow, thank you. But why are you helping me?
I felt bad for pranking you. Clearly you're just trying to do the right thing. My name is Rhodey. Here, let me show you something I think you will like.
I followed the roadrunner for a bit, and soon saw he had led me to an oasis. There was a small hut nearby too. It looked like it used to be a smithy. You're right, this place is just what I needed. Thanks for showing it to me. Feel free to stick around. The roadrunner agreed, and I went and looked in the chest. Inside, I found some iron ingots, as well as a shield. Using the iron ingots, I managed to repair my armor as well.
Take a look at that tree too.
I headed outside and saw that the nearby tree was no ordinary tree. There were some golden apples growing on it. I walked around the tree and knocked some of them off. These are going to be a huge help in the fight ahead. On days 44 to 49, we continued crossing the desert until we saw a large desert arena in the distance. I could see a corridor ahead leading into the stadium with 2 guards standing by. Hey, Rhodey, why don't you hang back while I check this out? It could be a trap, a real trap. I tried talking to the guards, but neither of them said anything. As I started to walk into the corridor, a bunch of arrows started firing. And this is the only way in? Great. I stepped into the arrows, trying to use my shield to block them. I managed to block some of the arrows, but I still took a ton of damage. With 1 heart left, I finally got through. Yeah, that could have gone better. I finally stepped into the arena. After I had stepped inside, the doors closed behind me. That's not good. Just then, a man dressed like a wither skeleton was standing on a platform at the top of the arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, our challenger has arrived. A big round of applause, please.
Hey, buddy. You know it's just us here, right?
Thank you for that warm welcome. And now, let the games begin.
This guy was clearly nuts.
He must have been in the desert for too long. Just then, another door opened and a husk came running out. A single husk? What a joke. This is going to be so easy. Just then, a huge horde came running out after him. I guess it wasn't going to be so easy after all. The husks weren't very strong, but there were a lot of them. To keep them from ganging up on me, I ran ahead to get them in a line. Suddenly, the ground shook and parts of the arena floor opened, revealing pools of lava. What kind of sick games are these? I kept trying to get the husks lined up as I took care not to fall into the lava. Once they were lined up, I started to quickly cut through them, one at a time. It took a little while, but finally, they were all defeated. Okay, yay, I won. Can you let me out now?
We have a winner! Time for round 2!
The floor shook again as some pillars rose up from the floor, and this time, a few giant and normal-sized gladiators came charging at me. How many rounds of this am I gonna have to do? Luckily for me, the two big gladiators turned on each other, with one of them taking the other out. The bad news was that they were now all focused on me. I ran around the stadium, doing my best to try and block the trident throws and get hits in. This was a much tougher fight, but I was determined to win. Eventually, I was able to take out the trident guy, so I could focus solely on the gladiator. You know what they say about the big guys. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I managed to get the gladiator lined up with a pit of lava. I swung my sword, knocking him in and defeating him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final round!
The arena shook again as the lava pits and columns disappeared. Then a door opened and a huge scorpion came running out. This wasn't gonna be easy. This was gonna be my hardest fight yet. If I can just stay away from that stinger, I might be able to do this. The scorpion was tough and hit hard. Ouch! You'll pay for that. Suddenly, the arena shook again and the lava pits and columns returned. But this time, they kept moving in and out. That guy just couldn't make this easy for me, could he? Kept fighting the scorpion, and at one point, my health had dropped dangerously low. But I couldn't give up now. At one point, I was able to catch the scorpion in the lava pit, but he was able to crawl back out. Looks like I'm just gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. I kept hitting it with blow after blow with my sword until at long last it was defeated.
And the crowd goes wild! Well done, brave sir, well done! Please take the spoils of your accomplishment.
Another door opened, revealing a room with a chest. I headed over and took a look inside. An elite power bow. And whoa, tons and tons of gold. Just then, Rhodey came running up to me.
Hey, nice job! I was thinking I would keep adventuring with you, but after seeing that, you mind if I live at your base?
That shouldn't be a problem. Let's go. I entered the next room where an elevator was waiting. We went inside and headed back to the base. On days 50 to 53, Rhodey and I emerged from the elevator back at the base. Rhodey was going to need a place to live, so we got right to work building him his own space. I wanted him to feel right at home. When we had finished, Benoit came over and asked if I could give him a hand with the statue. Benoit and I used some of the blocks he had collected to build out the next part of the statue. He said things had been going well since I had been here last, and he even had something new for me to buy in his shop. We soon finished, and I headed over to his shop. Alright, so you said you've got something new for me?
Oui, take a look. I have a whole stack of diamonds. I'm sure these will be very useful for you.
I paid Benoit with the gold I had won from the arena, then took all of the diamonds over to the crafting area. I put together a full set of diamond armor, then used what was left to make a diamond sword, as well as a whole set of diamond tools. That princess has nothing to worry about. I'm on my way. On days 54 to 57, I made my way back up the elevator and stairs and emerged in a frozen tundra. Oh man, it's freezing. I don't know how long I can stay out here. Just then, I noticed that my health started to decrease. I was literally freezing. To make sure I didn't freeze to death, I got right to work, building a quick igloo and campfire. This is going to be tough going. I'm not going to be able to survive away from a heat source for too long. Once I had warmed up, I set back out, following the direction of my compass. As I traveled, I kept having to take breaks and set up a small fire to warm up. Eventually, I found the door, built into an ice spike. I made one more stop to warm up. I wasn't sure what was going to be on the next level. Once I was feeling good, I entered and headed on up. On days 58 to 62, I had reached the next floor and noticed that the weather wasn't as bad here. I think my armor is enough to keep me warm. Thank goodness. I was moving at a glacial pace before. I pressed on and soon saw a penguin. How adorable. I should go say hi. I ran up to the penguin when it suddenly attacked. Whoa, I thought you were supposed to be cute and cuddly. I managed to fight off the penguin when I heard something just ahead. I ran forward and saw a bunch of penguins standing around something. It was another adventurer. Hey, leave him alone. I charged and began swinging at the penguins. They were feisty little fighters, but I was able to overwhelm them and take them out. I headed over to the adventurer. Oh no, it looks like he's dead. But what's this? Laying on top of him was a crystal, similar to the one I had picked up earlier. I set it down, and the princess appeared, saying the same thing as the one I had found. But wait a second, this princess looks completely different. There must be two princesses in danger. That's the only thing I can think of that makes sense. I better hurry up. Soon after, my compass had led me to the door, and I headed in and up the stairs. On days 63 to 66, I emerged on a floor that looked like an ice beach. Ahead in the water, there was a huge ice spike. My compass had been pointing me to it, so I assumed that was where I needed
needed to go. In the distance, I could see a bridge leading out to the spike, but as I started to cross it, I saw that the end of the bridge had been destroyed. It looks like I can still get across by jumping across those smaller ice spikes, but it's gonna be tricky. If I slipped and fell, I'd be falling into sub-zero water, where I could quickly freeze to death. I had to be careful. I was about halfway across when I nearly slipped. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I was right on the edge, so close that it almost looked like I was floating over the edge. I regained my composure and managed to make it the rest of the way across. Phew, next time I do parkour, it's gonna have to be with lower stakes. I kept jumping and finally made it across the gap. I started to climb the ice spike. When I got to the top, I nearly jumped off in fear. There was a massive polar bear waiting for me. This must be the boss to get through to the next door. Wish me luck. I charged as the polar bear let out a large roar. He swung and nearly knocked me over the edge several times. This guy is tough. How am I gonna beat him? Just then, I had an idea. I was scared of falling off, but shouldn't he be too? I made some space between us and ran over near the edge. Come and get it. The polar bear charged at me full speed. At the last second, I jumped out of the way, causing it to slip right off the edge and down to the ground below. Piece of cake. As I looked over the edge, I could see some of the ice below had melted too. Almost looked like it had formed a word. Interesting. With the polar bear gone, I entered the door and could see that there was an elevator and path to go up. I stepped into the elevator and headed down to the base. On day 67 to 70, I entered the base and went over to talk to Benoit and Rhodey. Both of them were really excited and impressed by how far I had gotten. They also told me how much fun they were having down in the base. I was glad to hear it, but something was bothering me. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys about something I found. On one of the last floors, I found a crystal with another princess message. Maybe there's two princesses, but something did seem off to me. Before they could answer though, the old woman from the swamp came out of nowhere.
This place is full of tricks. That's probably all it is. You should just ignore it.
Whoa, what brings you down here?
I thought I would pay you a visit. This is quite a nice place you've built down here. If your offer still stands, I wouldn't mind living down here after all.
I thought that sounded great, so I got right to work building her a house. I thought it was strange that she had changed her mind, but in any case, it would be good to have some more friends around. Once her house was complete, I headed over to Benoit to see if he had anything new to sell.
As a matter of fact, I do. I managed to find some lapis. You can enchant your armor with this.
I made a fresh set of coins with my gold and exchanged it for a stack of lapis. I entered the old woman's hut and used her enchanting table to upgrade my gear. I'll be able to tackle any biome or enemy now. I stepped outside to head back up the floors when I remembered we had a statue to work on. I made my way back up and got going on the next part. It didn't take too long and I was soon done. On to the next floor. On day 71 to 74, I returned to the last ice level, then started making my way up to the next door. Oof, it's usually not this difficult to reach the next level. Once I had maneuvered to the door, I entered in and was surprised by what I saw on the other side. Did I just enter the nether? The whole atmosphere had changed. But in the meantime, I decided to mine the magma blocks off the wall. I was going to need those for the statue later. I headed through the door. Wait a second, this looks like the same room, but the door is farther away. What's going on? I ran down the hallway and passed through the door. It was the same hallway again, but the door was even farther away than before. What kind of twisted joke is this? I ran through the next door and it was the same thing, but the door was even farther away. I started running for the door, but paused about halfway through. I must have missed something. I'm gonna go back. I turned to go through the last door when suddenly a bunch of piglins came bursting through, wielding axes. I tried to run away, but didn't have any other choice but to fight. With my upgraded gear, I managed to knock both of them out pretty quickly. Okay, maybe I just need to keep moving forward. I moved ahead when suddenly a couple of blazes spawned. I swung furiously to avoid catching on fire. Suddenly, there were more piglins too. I kept fighting and swinging. I had come so far. Soon, they were all defeated. Okay, let's keep going. Wait, which way was I going? I was completely turned around. I headed toward one of the doors to go through it. At the time, I didn't know that I was heading back the way I came in, but it turned out that was just what I needed to do. On days 75 to 78, I emerged from the door and found myself in the end. What is going on? Now I'm jumping through dimensions. I took out my compass to figure out where the next door was, but it was just spinning in circles. Looks like I'm going to have to find the next door the old-fashioned way. I started making my way toward the nearest end city when I accidentally looked at the nearest Enderman in the eyes. He attacked! Back off, Slender Boy! It took a few swings of my sword, but I was able to knock him out. It might not be a bad idea to gather up some Ender Pearls, actually. Those could come in handy. With this in mind, I started my raid on the Endermen. One by one, I struck them down and collected the Ender Pearls. At one point, I even had multiple of them attacking me at once, which was a little scary. But eventually, I had gotten all the pearls I felt I needed. That ought to do it. But hey, might as well collect some blocks for the statue too. I took out my pick and mined up some of the endstone on the ground, getting everything I needed. Then, I headed to the nearest structure, which was covered in shulkers. Time to duck and cover! The shulkers started firing at me, and I did my best to block their shots with my shield and hit them with my sword. I wasn't perfect though, and soon started levitating. Ugh, that doesn't feel so good. The levitating effect wore off, and I dropped to the ground. Luckily, I wasn't too high, and it didn't do too much damage. Finally, I was able to get close enough to the shulkers to finish them all off. Alright, let's see what's up here. I entered the end city and started following the path. There were more shulkers along the way, which I was able to fight off. Sometimes their levitating power even helped me out. It took a little bit to get through everything, but eventually I emerged on the roof and could see a door. That door looks a little weird, but it Must be the way through. Let's see what happens. On days 79 to 84, I suddenly appeared on the end central island, and much to my fear, I could see the Ender Dragon flying around in the distance. This wizard isn't messing around. Looks like I'm gonna have to fight the Ender Dragon. I lunged forward as the dragon swooped around overhead. What ensued was an epic battle. Okay, first things first, I gotta take care of those end crystals. It's a good thing I got those ender pearls. By throwing the ender pearls, I teleported to the top of the towers and destroyed the end crystals. I had to be careful not to blow myself up, but one by one, I managed to destroy all of them. Alright, big guy, it's just you and me now. I ran into the middle of the island and worked on bringing down the dragon's health. The dragon flew by overhead, trying to blast me with its dragon breath. The dragon soon landed, and I was able to get some hits in. As the dragon flew around, I took aim with my elite bow and managed to get some hits in that way too. At long last, the dragon swooped in low, and I hit him with an arrow, finally destroying him. He exploded, dropping a ton of XP orbs. I did it! If I can beat the dragon, surely I can beat a wizard. It was just then that I noticed a chest had appeared on top of the center column. I ran over and opened it up. Look at all these nether scraps. And what's this? In the middle of the chest was a paladin sword. I took it out and equipped it. With the sword in hand, a bunch of light started sparkling around me, and I leveled up into a full-blown paladin. I feel even stronger now, and look what my sword can do. As I swung my sword, I could see it was launching a light sword in the direction I was aiming. So cool! Just then, I noticed there was a button and trap door nearby too. I hit the button and dropped into the hole. When I landed, I saw a familiar room, one with an elevator and some steps. I hit the switch and headed into the elevator. On days 85 to 89, I emerged in the base where Benoit, Rhodey, and the old woman came running out to meet me.
You're back. That must mean you're getting close to the top. You're doing great.
Thanks. I've just got a few things to do here, and I think I'll finally be at the top. First of all, I wanted to finish the statue, using the extra materials I had collected. No dragon was as scary as one breathing fire in your face, so I made sure to add a stream of fire. And just like that, it was finished. Is this what you thought I'd build when I started? Let me know what you think. With the statue complete, I headed down to the crafting area and used the gold and netherite to create some netherite ingots. Then I used the ingots to upgrade my tools and sword to netherite. Now that everything was upgraded, it was time to say goodbye to my friends before heading up to the final floors. Well guys, it looks like there's actually some hope of us getting out of here. It's been awesome getting to know you, and if I don't make it, hopefully this base can help you until the next adventurer comes along.
You are a great friend, Zozo. I know you can do it. We will see you soon, mon ami.
I turned and headed for the door. I was a man on a mission, and no one was going to get in my way. On days 90 to 94, I emerged in a stone corridor. As I stepped into the room, I was immediately attacked by some hoglins. Luckily, I was able to quickly destroy them. There was something familiar about this place. Wait, I think that was the hoglin from day one. This must be the castle I saw before. I was getting close, but I had to stay focused. I opened a nearby door and immediately took some damage. What was that? I took a look inside the room and didn't see anything dangerous. I shut the door again and took more damage. Oh boy, this place must be trapped. I'm gonna have to watch my step. I proceeded down the hallways and ran into more mobs. This place was crawling with enemies. The mobs fought like their lives depended on it, which they did. Unlucky for them though, my new armor and weapons were stacked. They didn't stand a chance. After a ton of fighting, I finally pushed through a large group of them and had a moment to heal up. Well, I might have a few arrows sticking out of me, but I'm still here. I headed back into the corridors, fighting off skeletons as I went. This paladin sword was definitely coming in handy, as I was able to cut down enemies from far away. I kept pushing, taking out piglins and other enemies along the way. I finally entered a room and could tell something was different. On days 95 to 96, I entered a banquet hall and saw something illuminated on the wall. Subscribe. I keep seeing this word everywhere. In any case, I'm happy you're here and appreciate your support. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. On days 97 to 98, I had gone through a side door and found myself facing a white wall. Suddenly, there was a clicking sound as a drawbridge lowered. Standing in the center of the room was a giant pigless. Uh-oh, this isn't gonna be an easy fight. The pigless charged at me. He quickly hit me twice with his mace, which nearly depleted all of my health. If I was gonna survive, I was gonna have to be more careful. Not bad, Baconator, but let's see how you like this. Huh? I had swung my sword, but the pigless disappeared. Where did he go? Suddenly, he reappeared right next to me, nearly catching me off guard. Holy cow! This guy packed a punch. It took everything I had not to get hit, and I had to keep eating golden apples to stay in the fight. By using my paladin sword, though, I was able to hang in there. My friends are counting on me. I can't lose. I kept swinging and fighting until at long last, I landed the final blow, destroying the pigless. It was time to face the wizard. On day 99, I stepped into a large hall. Up ahead, there was a large wooden door. I stepped forward, and the door creaked open, revealing the wizard standing on a platform ahead of me. I walked into the room. Wizard, your traps have failed to stop me. I won't let you continue to keep people captive, and I'm going to free the princess. Get out of my way, or I'll move you myself.
Ha ha ha, you've done well, but I can't allow you to leave this place. Knights and adventurers can't be trusted.
Then you've made your decision. Think fast. I swung my sword, sending a sword beam flying at him as flames began to appear around me. I jumped out of the way and the flames exploded. This guy wasn't messing around.
I'll show you what real magic can do.
The wizard shot blasts of green energy at me as I continued to fire off sword energy. He was strong, but I was getting hits in. Suddenly, there was a crash of thunder and a red cloud appeared above me as fireballs started to rain down. Ah, that's hot, that's hot.
Haha, what do you think of this?
There was a poof and a bunch of wizards appeared who all charged at me. Holy cannoli, I didn't even know it was possible to do this kind of magic. The wizard clones were aggressive, but I was able to cut them down pretty easily. Then I kept firing off sword blasts.
Oh, why isn't this working?
The wizard was getting frustrated. I was winning. Suddenly, he started firing off all of his spells at once. This was starting to be too much to handle. I could just keep hitting him. As one of my sword hits landed, he suddenly started to glow and burst into an explosion of light. Was that it? I did it, I think. Something didn't seem right about that. But the princess, I need to save her. On day 100, I took a look around the room and saw there was a lever hiding behind one of the banners. I flipped the switch, which opened a secret door. I headed inside. I'm Zozo. I'm here to rescue you.
Zozo, my hero. Your hair.
Where's the other princess?
The what? Oh, yes, the other, oh, forget it.
There was a burst of light, and the wizard was standing in the place of the princess. I defeated you, and I'll do it again.
Wait!
Sorry, it's hard to keep doing the voice. I really didn't mean any harm.
What are you talking about? You threw me down a hole. You set me on fire. I fought a giant scorpion in an arena.
All illusions. In case you didn't notice, I'm pretty good at magic. In fact, it has all been an illusion, including everyone you've met. They're all parts of my personality, manifested by different people. You were never in any real danger.
Then what was the point of all of this?
The truth is, I'm just lonely. The only true thing was the story the old woman, I told you about the king.
Well, I'm sorry that part is true, but don't you think if you have the power to create anything, it'd be better to do something that actually helps people? The wizard thought about it for a second.
Yeah, I guess I was too busy feeling sorry for myself to see that. I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused you. Please, let me send you on your way.
There was a flash of light and we were suddenly back outside of the castle. I ran back into the land as the wizard and all his personalities waved goodbye. I guess in the end we all got what we wanted. I escaped and the wizard got himself a new friend. Perhaps one day we'll go on an adventure together.
On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as an awesome lava dinosaur. I may only be a baby, but I think when I grow up, I'm gonna be the coolest creature of all. But being that cool comes with certain drawbacks. You attract a lot of attention. That must have been why a terrifying soul blaze suddenly appeared in front of me.
Behold, 'tis I, the ultimate being, the Lord of Souls, and I wish to add yours to my collection, Zozo.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I know all. I see all, and in time, I will be able to do all. I will absorb your power, little lava dinosaur, and with it, I will become unstoppable.
My power? I don't even have any power yet.
Oh, but you will, Zozo. You will. Over the next 100 days, I will challenge you. I will hunt you. Through these trials, I will make you strong, and then, when you reach the height of your power, you will be mine!
Before I could try to talk him out of this wild plan, he fired an energy blast from his supercharged Soul Blaze rods. I ran as fast as I could, terrified by what he planned to do. I want to get stronger, but if I do, will I just be playing into the Lord of Souls' hands? This is gonna be a tough one. On day 2, I ventured out deeper into the Badlands to try and see what I could find. There's still a lot I don't know about this place. It's called the Badlands, but it seems pretty okay to me so far. I've got to be careful though. I only have 10 hearts, so I want to stay out of trouble. Suddenly, I heard my stomach growl. Oh, that's right. I've been alive for almost 2 days, and I haven't eaten yet. I better find some snacks. I wasn't sure what kind of food I could find in the Badlands, but as I was looking around, I spotted something red on the ground. Hey, apples! Perfect! An apple a day keeps the Lord of Souls away. That's the saying, right? I ate the apples and felt much better with a full stomach. Good luck didn't last long. I saw some Vex Piglins scowling at me and flying toward me.
Face us, Zozo. The Lord of Souls sent us to test your strength.
No, I don't wanna.
Too bad. Time to fight.
They got even closer and started to attack. I did my best to defend myself, but I had never fought anyone before, and these guys were way too strong for me. All I could do was run away from those terrifying Vex piglins, and in the process, I ran into a spider llama.
Follow me. These piggies can eat my dust.
On day 3, the spider llama led me to a campfire further out in the Badlands. It was a huge relief to find a cozy, safe place to rest for a while.
This is where the magic happens. And by magic, I mostly mean sleeping and hanging out with my buddy, the Fire Guardian.
I don't see a fire guardian until I did see one standing by the fire.
That's because I'm over here guarding this fire. Hello there, baby lava dinosaur. I see you too are a being forged in fire. May your flame burn brightly.
Thanks. I'm Zozo, by the way.
It's nice to meet you, Zozo. My name is Dennis, and this spider llama who brought you here goes by the name Zach.
I'm grateful for both of you. Those Vex piglins cornered me in a totally unfair fight. They were working for this awful Soul Blaze. Big scary guy. Maybe you know him?
Unfortunately, I do. The Lord of Souls means to add you to his collection, I assume?
Yes, he said he's going to wait for me to become strong. Then he's going to take my soul and steal my power. So I decided I'm not going to get stronger at all. That way, he won't get me. I'll just lay low and stay out of trouble.
I know it seems frightening, but you must seek strength and progress anyway. But you can't allow the Lord of Souls to steal that strength. Instead, you must use it against him so that he never takes another soul again.
Oh, geez, that sounds like a lot of work.
It will be, but you will have help. No dinosaur is truly alone in this world, not when he has friends. Go with Zach and build your first base. We'll develop from there.
Okay, then it's decided. I'll become the biggest, strongest lava dinosaur I can, and I'll defeat the Lord of Souls before he can use my power to become unstoppable. It's the right thing to do. From day 4 to day 5, I got to work building my base. First things first, to build my base, I need some tools. I'm gonna need to gather some wood. Can I even touch trees without setting them on fire? I sure hope so. Luckily, me being a lava dinosaur didn't have any effect on the trees, and I was able to gather some wood. Then I used that wood to craft a wooden pickaxe. Next, I'll get some stone. I used the wooden pickaxe to gather enough stone to craft a full set of stone tools, including a stone sword. My first sword. Check me out. I'm not just a weak little baby dinosaur anymore. Now I'm a baby dinosaur with a sword. But I didn't have time to practice sword fighting. I needed to build a place for me and Zach to stay. I built a small house and added a room for Zach and another room for me. There we go. Home sweet home.
Nice digs. Simple, but nice.
We can always add more, too. Zach went inside, and I was able to follow him when a skeleton ran up and started attacking me. Luckily, I had my new stone sword, and I was able to defend myself. I was still pretty new to fighting, but I managed to defeat him. After the fight, I started to feel funny. Not in a bad way, but different. I grew a little bigger, and I felt stronger. My hearts increased to 30. Yay! As I yelled, I saw a blast of fire shoot out of my mouth. Cool! Fire breath! I'll have to be careful not to accidentally burn anything down when I talk, but this is awesome! From day 6 to day 8, I decided that it was time for me to explore the area outside of the Badlands. I can't just hang around here forever. I've got to get out there and learn more about being a lava dinosaur. Like, what's the difference between a lava dinosaur and a dragon? Is it that I don't have wings? I gotta find out. And also stop the Lord of Souls from stealing my power. That too. I traveled to the Black Forest. I thought Black Forest was a type of cake, but I don't see any cake here. I guess life is disappointing sometimes. Oh well. I was distracted by the lack of cake when I saw a poor old fisherman being attacked by a nasty thorn wolf. I ran at the wolf with my sword and attacked. It took a while to defeat the thorn wolf, and it snarled at me, snapping its jaws. It was pretty scary, but I managed to fight it off.
Thank you, young dinosaur. I was afraid that blasted wolf would tear me limb from limb.
Yikes, I'm glad he didn't. You need your limbs.
I sure do. Can't reel in the fish without them, which is what I was trying to do when I was attacked by that beast. But if you think that thorn wolf was bad, you should see the other guy, the wolf guy that is. Say, if you manage to defeat that mongrel, maybe you can defeat this monster too. Could you give it a try?
Sure, I can try. Just show me where to go. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the fisherman to a place deeper in the Black Forest. Is it just me, or is it getting really creepy in here?
It's definitely not just you. You can probably sense the thorn-corrupted wolfman that's taken over this part of the woods.
which is a shame, because some of the best fishing is over here, and I can't get to it with him attacking anyone who gets too close.
That's not fair. I'll do my best to make sure you get your fishing spot back. Up ahead, the thorn-corrupted wolfman appeared. He had nasty matted fur and wild eyes.
Ow! Who's trespassing in my forest?
It's me, Zozo.
You, huh? Well, I was getting pretty hungry. I guess you'll make a nice snack.
How about you try some fire breath? I used my fire breath to attack, but the wolfman didn't even flinch. He came back at me and slashed me with his claws. Ow! Oh! This might be too tough of a fight for me. I ran back to the fisherman and away from danger as quick as I could. Quick, let's get out of here.
You're just giving up?
No, I'll come back when I'm stronger. But if that's gonna happen, we need to survive another day. Come on. The fisherman agreed, and we both ran out of there until we couldn't hear the wolfman's bone-chilling howls anymore. From day 11 to day 12, I led the fisherman back to my base. You can stay here until the Black Forest is a wolfman-free zone.
Well, thank you, but is there any room for me? I don't want to be rude, but your home looks pretty small.
Well, I can fix that. Just wait right here. I'll build you a room. I got to work and built a nice room for the fisherman to sleep in. When I was finished, I saw that he wasn't where I left him. He had added another room to the base too. What's this?
Just a wee token of my appreciation. I thought you might need more room for items and such, so I built you a storage room. I hope you'll find it useful.
You didn't have to do that.
There is very little we truly have to do in this world. It doesn't mean it isn't worth doing.
I'm glad there are nice people out there, and not just the Lord of Souls and his minions.
Stay far away from him, my friend. He would love to steal a power like yours.
That's what he told me too. I'm going to do my best to defeat him so he can't steal people's power anymore.
Be very careful. I've heard rumors that he's been waiting for the chance to absorb the strength of a fire-breathing dragon. And as a lava dinosaur, you're probably the next best thing.
Yikes! Talk with the fisherman inspired me to keep working on upgrading my weapons, so I went to a nearby cavern to get some mining done. I gathered some iron ore, which I took back to my base and smelted into iron ingots. Then, I used them to make an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Spiffy! Hey, with another new person staying here, we're going to need more supplies. I should find some animals. I spotted some sheep grazing nearby and decided that they would be perfect. I built a sheep farm for them and herded them into their pen. This place is really coming together. From day 13 to day 15, I was out of ideas for how to get stronger, so I decided to ask Zach for some advice. Hey, you're a tough guy, right?
Sure am. Why? Did someone say I wasn't? I'll fight them.
No. I just wanted to ask you what you think I should do to get stronger. What should I do?
Well, everyone's journey is different, little dude. But I do know that facing your fears is a good way to grow. Maybe try that.
Well, I was pretty scared in the Black Forest. I guess I can go back there. I'll just make sure I don't run into the Wolfman.
Oh yeah, don't mess with the Wolfmen. They're always looking for a fight, and they're no fun at parties.
I traveled back to the Black Forest, keeping an eye out for the Wolfman. Gotta face my fears. It's so creepy in here though. Why is this forest so scary? As if to answer my question, some Vex piglins popped out.
Maybe it's because you're nothing but a weak little baby.
Oh no, it's those Vex piglins again!
Yep, we've decided you're a waste of the boss's time. It would be better to just get rid of you and find a better target for him.
Guess I have to fight you then, and face my fears. I used my fire breath to attack, then ran at them with my new iron sword. They fought back, but I dodged them. After a little bit of fire breath and sword action, I was finally able to defeat them. I did it! Zach was right. I do feel stronger. Oh, look, a health potion. They must have dropped it. I picked up the health potion and drank it. My hearts increased to 60, and my claws got sharper. Cool, I have a new ability, Claw Attack. From day 16 to day 19, my exploration took me out of the Black Forest and into the Cypress Swamplands. So nice to change out those old trees for some new, different trees. And those different trees brought me good luck because I spotted a book and picked it up. The title said, Better Living Through Exposition. What does that mean? Better take a look inside just to see. Okay, it says that the Lord of Souls hides somewhere dry and hot. So definitely not anywhere nearby then. That's good to know.
Why, read about it. You'll be winding up there soon enough.
Vex Piglins? But I just defeated you!
No, those were some other Vex Piglins. There are dozens of us, dozens, and we're all coming after you.
Well, this worked before, so I guess I'll try it again. Fire Breath, attack! I used my Fire Breath, but it wasn't quite enough to defeat them. So I followed it up with a few swipes of my claws. Claw attack! Turns out, the Vex Piglins were no match for my new and improved claws, and I managed to win the battle! From day 20 to day 22, I headed back home to my base. On the way, I fought a mean-looking spider to test out my new abilities. It was easy to beat, way easier than the Vex Piglins. Okay, now I need to get back into the mines and see if I can find some more materials. Zozo needs some iron armor. I don't know why I talked about myself in third person like that. Let's go! I climbed down into the mining cavern and searched until I found some iron ore. Back at my base, I smelted the ore and used the iron ingots to craft an iron chest plate. This thing makes me feel pretty tough. Between this and my new abilities, I think I can finally fight the Wolfman. With my new confidence, and more importantly my new chest plate, I traveled back to the Black Forest to look for the thorn-corrupted Wolfman. I followed the sound of his howl until I found him. When he saw me, he growled.
Back again? Good. I was starting to get hungry. And you're bigger now. Even better. I could use a good meal.
He came at me with his claws, but I had claws too. I used my claw attack, and he looked shocked at how much damage it did. That didn't stop him though, and he attacked me again. But my iron chest plate protected me from his fangs and claws, and I was able to get the upper hand and win the fight.
Splendid.
I turned around, and the Lord of Souls was there!
You're getting stronger, I see. Soon you will be strong enough, and your power will make me invincible.
Or I'll use it to defeat you.
Impossible. You were born for this very purpose. A prophecy foretold that the power of a fire-breathing dragon would allow me to conquer all.
But I'm a dinosaur!
Close enough!
I didn't want to stick around to hear what else he had to say, so I got out of there as fast as I could. From day 23 to day 26, I ran away from the Lord of Souls and headed back to my base. I can't stand that guy. At least I have good news for the fisherman. Speak of the devil.
You do? I love good news.
Yes, the Wolfman is finally gone. You can go back to your favorite fishing spot again.
Thank you so much, Zozo. Next time I catch a fish, I'll name it after you.
Okay. Next, I went back into the mining cavern to find some more iron ore. Once I had it, I smelted it and used the ingots to craft an iron helmet and boots. Pretty snazzy stuff. While I was admiring my new armor, the fisherman came to talk to me again.
Before I head out to catch some fish, I built a perimeter wall for the base. Something to keep us all a little safer here. Just my way of saying thanks for getting rid of that man-eating wolfman.
No problem. Whoa, it looks great. From day 27 to day 31, I decided to return to the Cypress Swamplands to see if I could find anything else useful. I found that book here before. Who knows what else I might stumble on? Turns out, the answer was a fire elemental, and he stumbled on me.
Excuse me, are you the dragon that got rid of the Vex Piglins who were here earlier?
I'm a dinosaur, but yeah, that was me.
That was really impressive. They were causing a huge mess around here. But before you managed to get them, they got to my house and destroyed it. Any chance you know where I could stay for a while?
Follow me, I'll show you the way to my base. I escorted the fire elemental back to my base. Then I collected some fluffy wool from my sheep. You know what, sheep? I think this place is looking a little bit boring. What do you think? The sheep didn't say anything back, but I could tell they agreed. So I put up some decorative banners. Much better. From day 32 to day 35, Zach came to me to ask for help. What's going on?
It's Dennis! He's facing some kind of menace! I think that Lord of Souls sent some creeps to mess with him!
Oh no, let's go right away! I traveled to Dennis the Fire Guardian's campfire, and by the time we got there were Vex Piglins all over the place, and I couldn't see Dennis anywhere. You will pay for this! I rushed in and blasted the piglins with my fire breath. Then I shredded them with my claw attack. I was able to defeat a bunch of them, and once they were out of the way, I saw Dennis fading away! Oh no!
Zozo! You came! Thank you! But I'm afraid it's too late for me! Be strong! Help the others! Save
the world.
And just like that, he was gone. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled back to the Black Forest so I could see how the fisherman was doing at his fishing spot. Before I could get to the fishing spot, a ghost miner drifted out from between two trees and approached me.
Well, I'll be. You look like a strong youngin' who might just be able to help out an old-timer like me. What do you say?
Sure, what do you need?
Back before I was a ghost, I was attacked by a deep spider around these parts. Suppose you could destroy that spider so I can finally get my revenge on the critter?
Sure. I searched the Black Forest until I found the deep spider. It was pretty easy to defeat with just a blast of my fire breath and a few swipes of my sword. Then I went back to the ghost miner. I did it!
Hoo-wee! Feels good to let my soul be at rest. Thank you, Sonny. Speaking of souls, better be careful of yours around that soul eater fella. If he snatches yours, there's no getting it back. He'll absorb all your power and leave nothing but a husk behind.
I'll make sure to remember that. Thanks. From day 40 to day 43, I returned home to my base. When I got there, I saw that someone had added a nice new lounge area outside. This looks so nice. It's the perfect place to curl up with a good book and relax. I'll definitely do that once my quest is complete and the Lord of Souls is dealt with. I wonder who did this.
It was me, little dude.
Oh, cool. But why?
I don't want to cramp your style, but I've got a few buddies that need a place to stay. Mind if they kick it here with us for a bit?
Sure, that would be great. A little while later, some other spider llamas came to the base.
Zozo, these are my bros.
Welcome to my base, everybody. After I said hi to the spider llamas, the fire elemental came to see me.
I know you've already done a ton to help me, but could you do one more thing? There's a skulk scorpion that's, well, skulking around the ruins of my old house. Until he's gone, I can't rebuild it.
I'll write him a strongly worded letter. Just kidding, I'll go out there and see if I can get him to leave. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled back to the Cypress Swamplands to look for that pesky skulk scorpion that was giving the fire elemental so much trouble. Is there a scorpion in the house, or around the ruins of the former house? I didn't get an answer. What I got instead was an unwelcome surprise appearance from the Lord of Souls.
Why waste your time trying to help other weaklings when you could be growing stronger, when you could be fueling my eventual victory over all?
This isn't about you.
Foolish Zozo, everything is about me. Now, hone your combat skills and fight.
He disappeared, and in his place, there was a huge, powerful pigless. I don't want to fight you, but I get a feeling I don't have much of a choice. From day 50 to day 53, I battled the pigless. He was much bigger and stronger than me, but I did my best to hold my own. I did have one thing he didn't have though, fire breath, and my other dinosaur abilities. With the help of those moves and my positive attitude, I managed to defeat him.
You may have bested me, but only a pure heart and a diamond sword can defeat the Lord of Souls.
With those final words, he vanished into dust. That was a tough one, but I did it! Oh hey, sparkly! The piglets dropped some mystical diamonds! I'd better take these with me. They'll probably come in handy later. From day 54 to day 57, I resumed my search for the skulk scorpion. No matter what the Lord of the Souls says, I know it's worth it to help out those who need it. I spotted the ruins of a house, and there, nested in the middle of it all, was the skulk scorpion. You can't just take this place, it's someone's home. The scorpion just approached me threateningly and attacked. But the scorpion stinger was no match for my claw attack. Pretty soon, I had won. I sprinted back to my base and gave the fire elemental the news.
Wonderful, thank you, Zozo. You really are amazing. No wonder the Lord of Souls thinks you're the hero from the prophecy. He's convinced that you're the fabled fire dragon that can give him the power to take over the world. All he needs is for you to come into your full potential. Then he'll steal your soul.
I keep saying I'm not a dragon.
I know, you're a dinosaur. I've met others of your kind before. You have many abilities similar to those of dragons, but you're different, too.
Thank you. I was starting to worry I might be wrong. So many people kept calling me a dragon.
Never let anyone tell you who you are, Zozo. You know yourself better than anyone.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to make some quick improvements to the base. I built another sheep pen and found some more sheep to herd into it. Welcome home, little sheep.
Next, I remembered what the piglet said about a diamond sword. So I went into the cavern and mined until I found some diamonds. I was going to use them to craft a diamond sword, but then I remembered I also picked up those mystical diamonds before. So I used those to make my sword, and the other diamonds to craft a diamond pickaxe. Afterwards, I exited my base and noticed Zach standing outside my door.
Little dude, I added some awesome stuff to the base. Check it. I expanded the resting area outside to make it even better.
This looks amazing! I can't wait to hang out here! From day 63 to day 66, I was trying to decide what to do next. I went down into the mines, where I was surprised to find the fisherman.
Zozo, I was looking for you. I heard that the Lord of Souls has his hideout in the dunes. I thought it might be worth a look.
Oh, that's good to know. It's definitely somewhere dry and hot, like that book said. I'll go check it out. I traveled to the dunes and looked around for any sign of the Lord of Souls or his hideout. I didn't want to fight him yet, but I wanted to be as prepared as possible. While I was exploring, I wandered into the domain of a Crimson Phantom.
Get out of here! No associates of the Lord of Souls are welcome!
Wait, I'm not one. I don't work for him. I'm trying to get rid of him.
Oh, that's great news! Sorry for the scare. Hi, my name's Coco.
Hi, Coco. I'm Zozo.
So, if you're a good guy, does that mean you could help me get rid of the creeper spider that's been lurking around and trying to bite me?
Sure does. I'm great at fighting spiders. From day 67 to day 70, I helped Coco the Crimson Phantom with her spider problem. It didn't take long to find the creepy spider. It was creeping around nearby and looking for a chance to bite her. Hey, there's a bug problem here, and I'm the exterminator.
I don't think spiders count as bugs, but I like your spirit.
I'm not good at bug science, but I'm good at fighting. I blasted the creeper spider with my fire breath, then attacked it with my diamond sword. Pretty soon, it was done for. That spider won't be bothering you anymore.
I can't thank you enough. I wish you lots of luck in your quest.
From day 71 to day 74, I continued exploring the dunes. If I can figure out where the Lord of Souls lives, I'll know where to go when I'm ready to fight him. Speaking of fighting and adventuring, if you want to see more videos like this, search ZO. That's Zozo, me. But that call to action attracted the attention of none other than the Lord of Souls.
Zozo, there you are.
Uh-oh.
Why aren't you cultivating that wonderful power for me? Soon it will be time for me to take it.
I tried to blast him with my fire breath, but it didn't even make a mark. He was way too strong. I had to run out of there before it was too late. From day 75 to day 78, I went back to my base and headed into the pool to cool off. I can't believe I had to run away. What if I'm never strong enough to beat him? What if I get just strong enough to help him and I ruin everything? Just then, the fire elemental came to see me.
That won't happen, Zozo. I know it. Hey, to get your mind off things, check out what I built. It's a watchtower for the base.
I'll admit, that's pretty cool. It's hard to be sad with a watchtower like this. Thanks. After that, my main man Zach approached me.
If you like that, then how about these apples? Sorry, that was confusing. There aren't any apples, but I do have this mace.
Awesome! Let me try it out! When I did, I felt magic coursing through me. I grew bigger and stronger. The gift increased my hearts to 100, and I felt like I had a new power too. I tested it out, and I was right.
Whoa, you have a dragon fireball ability.
Nope, I have a dinosaur fireball ability. From day 79 to day 84, I returned to the dunes, feeling much more confident in myself as a hero. I didn't see the Lord of Souls anywhere, but I did see a zombie shuffling around and tested my fireball out on it. It worked! I blew that zombie to smithereens!
Hey, that was really cool.
A big axolotl came over to congratulate me.
I got this for my uncle's birthday, but I actually think you should have it. You're a way better fighter than him.
He handed me diamond leggings. Whoa, thanks. Sorry to your uncle, though.
Nah, it's fine. I'll just get him a gift card.
These leggings will go great with the rest of my diamond gear. From day 85 to day 89, I headed back to my base to show my friends my new diamond leggings. But when I got there, it was under attack. There were Vex piglins all over the place. Hey, get out of here! Stop! I rushed towards the piglins and started to defeat them one by one using my mace. But some of them managed to run off, and I gave chase. I lost sight of them after a while, but I didn't give up. I I heard a loud buzzing sound though, and when I looked in its direction, I saw a giant mosquito. Ah, don't bite me!
Bite you? Oh no, that's not why I'm here. I need help breaking apart this block. I've been trying for days, but I have no tools, and my little bug arms are too weak.
Quickly, I broke the block apart with my pickaxe. There you go. Gotta run. Bye!
I'll never forget you, kind stranger.
From day 90 to day 94, I tracked the Vex Piglins to a spot in the dunes. This place looks super evil. Oh, this must be the lair of the Lord of Souls. I'd better not get too close. I noticed something I hadn't seen before. The Vex Piglins had an ender blaze with them. They were all listening to him and following his orders.
We messed that place up good, huh?
Yeah, the Lord of Souls will be pleased with your service. As his right-hand man, I will deliver reports of your loyalty.
I rushed out of my hiding place and confronted the ender blaze. So you're the one who messed up my base. I guess this fireball is for you then. From day 95 to day 97, I began my battle against the ender blaze. I shot a fireball at him, but he shot a fireball back at me. I dodged it, but just barely. Ouch, that's hot. Glad it didn't hit me, but this guy is really strong. This is my hardest fight yet. I drew my mace and attacked again. This time, I had more luck. I managed to do some damage, and that gave me the confidence to keep going. I got him with my claw attack, my mace again, and that managed to finish him off. When he went down, the ender blaze dropped a key. This must unlock the Lord of Souls base. This is awesome.
Yeah, take the key. Go inside. It's right where the Lord of Souls wants you to be. Once he has your power, he will burn down the entire world to rebuild it in his image. Thank you, Zozo. You will ensure his victory.
With that, he was gone. I won't let that be true. It can't. I have to get ready because it's time to prove the Lord of Souls wrong. On day 98, I returned to my base, more determined than ever. I'm almost out of days. I've got to make every moment count. First, the fire elemental came to speak with me.
Zozo, you saved my home. Without you, I would have nowhere to go. I know that you can conquer this force of evil.
Then came Zack, the spider llama.
Little dude. Well, not such a little dude anymore. But you'll always be little dude to me. I'm so proud of you, man. You're gonna do great. Dennis would be proud too.
And finally, the fisherman.
Zozo, I've brought you a fish. In case you get hungry or need some extra protein. Good luck, brave dinosaur.
On day 99, I started my journey to the Lord of Souls base. On the way there, I passed through the Black Forest. Can't believe I used to be scared of this place. That seems like so long ago now. Finally, I reached the base, but it was crawling with Vex Piglins. Oh no, I'll have to fight all of them to get inside.
No, you won't. I will.
Coco!
You solved my pest problem. I'll solve yours. Go, Zozo. Get inside.
Thank you. Leaving Coco to take on the Vex Piglins, I unlocked the door and ran inside. On day 100, I entered the lair of the Lord of Souls. I had faith in myself, but I was still so scared that I would lose. If the Lord of Souls beat me, it wouldn't only be me who suffered, it would hurt everyone. So I guess the solution to this is, don't lose. I found the Lord of Souls waiting for me in his room.
Ah, here you are, as foretold, the missing piece in the puzzle of my total domination of all life.
Not so fast. I shot a fireball at the Lord of Souls and it hit him, but all he did was laugh.
Zozo, fire cannot harm a Lord of Souls. You cannot burn me.
I can get you with this. While he was gloating, I attacked him with my mace. He staggered back from the hit.
No, impossible. The prophecy. A fire dragon will give me the power I need to ascend to victory.
A fire dragon might have helped you become the ultimate ruler of the world, but this lava dinosaur is going to destroy you. I swung my mace again and again as we fought fiercely against each other. Finally, I landed one last hit and the Lord of Souls collapsed on the ground. I guess it turns out that when it comes to prophecies, close enough just doesn't cut it. On day 1, I spawned into the Great Lake Isles as a blaze. Whoa, this is so cool! I'm one of Minecraft's most powerful fire creatures! Or at least a baby version of one. But I'd spawned into a very hostile environment. As you can probably tell from the name, the Great Lake Isle is surrounded by a lot of lakes. It's lucky that all I need to do is avoid the water. It's not like the water can come after me. But I would soon eat my words as a huge figure rose out of the lakes near me. Oh no, who are you?
I am Aquarius, the Lord of Water Elementals, and I will do my duty to the power of water by annihilating you, fire creature!
Let's not be so rash. I'm Zozo, and I may be a blaze, but I don't want to hurt anyone.
As if the great Aquarius would ever trust the words of a petty blaze like you, Zozo! Let the water purify your pathetic soul!
Aquarius blasted a water blast at me, and I needed to dodge it before floating away as quickly as I could. There's no way that I'm gonna be safe out here while that guy is still hanging around. I need to figure out a way to defeat him, or I'm gonna get drowned by him. On day 2, I continued fleeing from the lake that Aquarius emerged from, trying to stay as far on dry land as I could. I only have 10 hearts. It's not like I can afford to take any risks. A big enough water blast from that evil elemental, and I'd be reduced to a soggy pile of ashes. My running away had also made me incredibly hungry. That's why I searched around until I found some apples, and threw them into my burning furnace of a mouth. Ah, that's good. The water is dangerous, but I'm glad I'm safe on land. Once again, I'd made a habit of speaking too soon, because as soon as I'd said that, a small gang of huge, terrifying bugs swarmed out of the ground. Oh no, who are you guys?
We're the sectoid gods, the baddest, meanest bugs this side of the overworld, and we work for the water elemental.
Why?
Because in exchange for working with him, he floods the nests of our enemies. It's a pretty sweet deal. All we need to do is destroy all the fire creatures we see inland. Get 'em, boys!
And the boys did indeed try to get me. That's why I floated away as quickly as I could, knowing I didn't have the strength to take them all on yet. I thought I was doomed when suddenly I turned invisible. All the sectoid guards just ran right past me, leaving me safe, at which point I became visible again. How did I do that?
You didn't do that. I did.
Where did that voice come from? A funky colored sheep appeared in front of me. I'd never seen anything like it.
I am the mystery sheep. It is in my best interest to guide you on your journey, and it is in your best interest to follow me.
Well, you just saved my life, so I'm not gonna argue with you. Lead the way, Mr. E-Sheep. On day 3, the mysterious mystery sheep led me through the Great Lake Isles, speaking very little, which made him even more mysterious.
We will soon reach our destination. There, you will confer with the Iron Chicken, and he will give you your next steps.
If you say so. Man, this day just keeps getting weirder and weirder. The mystery sheep zapped away, and I was left alone, until I saw the Iron Chicken standing in the distance. He noticed me as I approached.
Come as close as you like, son. All this iron makes me completely fireproof.
That's a relief. I've never actually met an Iron Chicken before.
I wasn't always an Iron Chicken. I'm a veteran. I was a war chicken. But as I got injured in various wars, I replaced my injured parts with iron. In the end, I'd gotten so injured over time, iron was all that was left of me.
No offense, but that's really strange. So, does that mean you're still the same chicken? Or because you replaced everything with iron, are you a whole new one? Oh, wow, my head hurts.
It's okay. I get that a lot. I hear that you're involved in some kind of quest.
It's true. I'm on a quest to defeat Aquarius, the water elemental. But I don't know where to start.
You start by getting tools, and then you get stronger. Here, take this stone sword and stone pickaxe. Take them and make a base where you can train and get stronger. It's the only way you'll ever beat that water elemental, young Blaze.
I picked up the stone sword and stone pickaxe and set off to leave. Thank you for your encouragement, Iron Chicken. I hope we meet again someday. From day 4 to day 5, I left the Iron Chicken to do whatever Iron Chickens do, and found a perfect place a little inland of the Great Lakes to start building my base. I cut down some trees and mined some stone, and started building myself a basic base, one that was fireproof enough for a blaze to stay in without burning it to ashes. But my burning body wasn't the only potential threat to my base. I saw a terrifying ender creeper emerging from the distance and zeroing in on my base.
I need to stop it, or all my hard work will be blown to Kingdom Come. I ran in and attacked the Ender Creeper, but I wasn't there fast enough to stop it from exploding. I was expecting to see the pearly gates, but instead, I was totally unharmed in the middle of the crater it left behind. Whoa, my firepower must keep me safe from explosions. That's awesome. And then the mystery sheep appeared once again.
That was a courageous act, Zozo. You went forth into danger bravely, and for that, I will bestow upon you 1% of my power.
Suddenly, I felt myself getting bigger and stronger. I had 30 hearts now, and a new ability, breathing fire. Thanks again, Mystery Sheep. You're so mysterious. From day 6 to day 8, I left the Great Lake Isles and went to explore the Jacaranda Forest. I need to be careful. I don't want to accidentally set anything on fire out here. But setting something on fire was the least of my worries. I soon found that the area was infested with bubble monsters. Bubbles come out of water. These monsters must have been created by the water elemental. They're probably out here searching for other fire beings. I needed to stand up for myself, and with my new fire breath, I had the power to do it. I floated in and started releasing jets of flames onto the bubble monsters, not letting up until all of them had been evaporated. I'm so proud of how strong I'm getting. But I wasn't the only one who was proud. A fire elemental emerged from behind one of the nearby trees.
Thank you, Kind Blaze. Those bubble monsters were after me. It isn't easy being a fire entity out here, as I'm sure you know.
Believe me, I know. The name's Zozo. I'm trying to get strong enough to defeat Aquarius, the water elemental.
Then follow me, Zozo. I know a monstrous beast that will be perfect training.
From day 9 to day 10, the fire elemental led me to a clearing in the forest where a huge monstrous worm was writhing. Oh, jeez, what is that thing?
That's the dead worm. It's completely crazy and extremely dangerous. If you can take care of it, you'll be far stronger for the experience.
Well, I guess I'll give it a try. I ran into the clearing, my sword drawn, ready to take it on. But I wasn't ready for just how absurd the dead worm was.
Wee-hee-hee-hee! 'Tis I, the wormy death worm! Come any closer, and I'll worm you, boy! I'll worm ya!
You are incredibly strange! I used my sword and fire breath against the deranged worm, but it was no good. He was too strong. I needed to retreat back to the fire elemental. I think I need to get strong before I can take on the worm fire elemental. But in the meantime, how about you come stay at my base? We should stick together during hard times like this.
I'm honored by your offer, Zozo. Please, lead the way, and I shall follow.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my little base with the fire elemental and began building another solid stone room for him to sleep in. Perfect kind of rooms for creatures like us, because there's no way to burn them down.
Good thinking, Zozo. And feel free to take a look around. I admire the work you're doing to keep the overworld safe for entities like us. I built a few extra upgrades around the base.
I looked around and was astonished. The fire elemental had built a storage room and a new furnace. Well, I better put them to good use. I hunted down and found a mining cavern. I ventured inside, and deep down in the dark, I found some iron ore that was easy enough to mine. I took my ore back to the furnace on my base and smelted it into ingots. With those ingots, I made myself an awesome iron sword and an iron pickaxe. By the time my smithing was done, the ever-mysterious mystery sheep arrived again, appearing right in front of me.
Zozo, as you know, sheep are the finest of creatures. That is why, to aid in your quest, I recruited a number of my sheep friends and built a paddock for them to live in.
Thanks, Mystery Sheep. That'll be great if I need any wool. From day 13 to day 15, I decided to talk to the Mystery Sheep again and ask him what he, in his infinite wisdom, thought I should do next.
Well, Zozo, Aquarius's power is supported by his monstrous sectoid guards. If you take the fight to them, it will weaken him. There are 2 groups of them I can sense around here. One in the Jacaranda Forest, and another in the Jagged Peaks. Go forth and take the fight to them!
Seems like a good idea to me. First, I returned to the more familiar territory, the Jacaranda Forest. It didn't take long for me to find a small detachment of sectoid guards, and they seemed surprised to see me.
What? We were meant to perform a sneak attack on you, not the other way around.
I ran in with my iron sword, slicing and dicing with fiery passion. Once most of the sectoid guards were defeated, I used my awesome fire breath to finish them off.
When the last one was defeated, they dropped what looked like a health potion. I picked it up and drank it, and felt some extraordinary power coursing through me. I got bigger, stronger, fierier, and gained a new ability, Fireballs! Hey, that's more like it! From day 16 to day 19, I journeyed to the treacherous jagged peaks, but I wasn't alone up there in this unforgiving cold. There were a gang of deadly sectoid guards waiting for me.
Finally, the blaze is here! Let's put out that sad little loser's fire, and our boss will reward us with great riches!
And I sure hope all those riches are worth what's about to happen to you. I was through holding back. I unleashed my full power, blasting fireballs and spewing my fire breath, frying sectoid guard after sectoid guard, until only I remained on those unforgiving slopes. Next time I see Aquarius the water elemental, I'm gonna blow him to pieces. As I was walking back through the peaks, I came across an old book lying against the stone. It was titled The Legend of the River Demon. I opened it and read it, and it said, there once was a petty river demon who dreamed of being powerful and important. To do this, he changed his name. He pretended to be a friendly elemental, a protector, but really, all he ever cared about was power. Wow, that explains a lot. From day 20 to day 22, I decided I'd complement my new offensive powers with a little extra defense. I know just the place to go. I returned to the mining cavern and explored until I found some more iron ore, which was easy enough to mine and take back to my base. There, I used the furnace to turn the ore into ingots and make an iron chestplate that hid beneath my flames. I feel so strong now. I think I'm finally able to go back and face an enemy I never had the strength to beat before. It's the feeling that led me back to a clearing in the Jacaranda forest where the dead worm was waiting for me.
Waha! Wormy, wormy, wormy! It's me, Dead Worm! Oh, wormy!
I'm really glad I won't have to hear you talk anymore after this. I blasted fireball after fireball at the dead worm, giving it all I had until it was reduced to ash. Just one more monster defeated for the good of the world. But I was so distracted by my victory, I didn't notice the even bigger threat sneaking up behind me. It was Aquarius, the water elemental.
I don't normally like coming this far inland, but to destroy you, I'll make an exception.
You won't be destroying anyone. You're not a protector, you're a demon. Eat fire, you big nasty jerk. I shot a fireball at him, the same kind that destroyed the dead worm, but he shrugged it off.
Weak!
I knew that I still stood no chance in a battle against him. All I could do was turn and run again. From day 23 to day 26, I rushed back to base to evade getting annihilated by Aquarius the water elemental. I wasn't proud of having turned tail and run. It felt like a cowardly thing to do, but I wasn't strong enough to defeat my adversary, so I had no choice but to run if I wanted to survive. At least I had defeated the dead worm though, which the fire elemental would be impressed by. First things first though, I should work on upping my defense. On my way back, I made a stop at the mining caverns and explored underground until I came across some iron ore. Bringing my newfound resources back to base, I had enough to turn into iron ingots, which I then forged into an iron helmet and matching pair of iron boots. Afterward, I went to tell the elemental about my run-in with the dead worm.
Good going beating that wormy weirdo, Zozo. You're getting stronger every day. In honor of your victory, I've been working on these new improvements to the base. We have a perimeter wall now.
I checked out his handiwork, and it sure was impressive. Plus, it was reassuring to know the base would be protected, even while I was away. I'd like to see Aquarius even try to attack this place. From day 27 to day 31, I decided I'd travel back to the jagged peaks. The last time I had been there, I'd come across some useful information about who and what Aquarius really was, so maybe there was something there that could give me an idea on how to defeat him. Sadly, I didn't come across what I was looking for, but I did bump into a mutated bee.
Hey, you're that Blaze causing all that buzz by bashing those bug-eyed sectoid guards, aren't you?
That's me.
Blimey, you really did us a big bonus favor with that one. Do you have any idea how bad things have been around here with that invasive species of bugs about? Raking everything, being a real blight on the rest of us.
I'm happy to help.
Still, it barely done anything to belay Aquarius. Not that anyone blames you, bud.
I'm working on that. But in the meantime, you should head back to my base with me.
Oh, you have a base! That's brilliant! Better show me how best to get there.
We headed back to my base in the Great Lake Isles, and I decided it was time to spruce the place up. Thanks to the sheep pen being so close by, I was able to gather up some wool and turn that into some decorative banners to really have the place looking nice. But that led to another conversation with one sheep who was still something of a mystery. The mystery sheep.
Zozo, it is I. I have once again parted the woolly veil of mystery to appear before you.
What's up, mystery sheep? You enjoying hanging out with the other sheep in the paddock?
I have no time for enjoying things. There is trouble afoot. The Iron Chicken needs your help.
From day 32 to day 35, the mystery sheep and I rushed through the Great Lake Isles to find the Iron Chicken.
Hurry, Zozo. The Iron Chicken calls for aid, and he doesn't possess the might of a greater animal, such as the noble sheep.
Well, he's a veteran, right? He should be able to hold his own until we get there, I hope. When we arrived, though, we were met with a horrible sight. The Iron Chicken had clearly been battling for so long that his tiredness was beginning to show. Sectoid guards were coming at him from all angles, and although he had fought off many more, all it took was one to sneak up behind him and… No! I leapt into action and launched a flurry of fireballs at the remaining sectoid guards. I managed to scorch those that were left, but I was too late to save the Iron Chicken. From day 36 to day 39, I left on my own for a while to mourn the loss of the Iron Chicken. The mystery sheep had offered some mysterious words of comfort, but I just needed to be alone with my thoughts. Although, I wouldn't be totally alone for too long, as while I was carefully making sure not to burn down the forest by accident, I stumbled across a rich mummy.
A blaze? You command fire!
Yeah, I'm a blaze, and I can control fire a little.
Another serpent disturbed my slumber when it made a nest in my tomb. I need you to smoke it out.
Sure thing. I guess I can help. It didn't take long to track the nether serpent down. It had made a home for itself in the temple the old mummy had been buried in, but that was about to change. I launched a barrage of fireballs, catching the sleeping serpent off guard. As it frighteningly recoiled from the flames, I was able to back it into a corner and finished it off with a swing of my sword. I went back to my new mummy pal afterwards.
Nicely done, Blaze. Now to get back to my eternal slumber. I'm exhausted.
Question though, you're pretty old, right? You don't happen to know anything about Aquarius the water elemental?
You mean the river demon? Oh, good luck with him. He's a nasty customer. But if you're hoping to find him, then I'd check out the Dead Sea.
From day 40 to day 43, I headed back to base for the first time since losing the Iron Chicken. I was expecting things to be somber, but when I arrived, the mystery sheep had something to share with me.
Zozo, you made a valiant effort to save the life of the Iron Chicken.
I still failed though.
But you tried, and that is important. Endurance is something almost as mysterious as me, and you possess it. It is for that reason that I called out to my brethren, the other mystery sheep. We live here now.
All around were a mystery number of other mystery sheep, although some of them seemed to think the base needed some improvement.
A normal mind would crumble under the weight of our collective knowledge. We need a way to archive all of life's mysteries. And also comfy chairs.
I got to work making some brand new bookshelves for the mystery sheeps, and a nice comfy living area for them. When I was done, the mutated bee came buzzing up to me.
Blimey, Blaze! I've had a bad time trying to make it to this base of yours. This bunch of creeper spiderlings decided to bully me. If you could be a bro and blast them for me, that'd be the best.
Rude creeper spiderlings? I'll take care of those bullies. Don't you worry. From day 44 to day 49, I headed off to the Jagged Peaks once again to take care of the creeper spiderlings that were giving the mutated bee such a hard time. Couldn't seem to find any trace of them, but I was soon met with the presence of the last person I wanted to see. It was Aquarius, the water elemental.
There's the little Blaze. How's your cowardly chicken friend?
If it weren't for you and your sectoid guards, the Iron Chicken would be fine. You didn't have to go after him just to get to me.
Oh, you think that's why I wanted him gone? He was a war chicken. He opposed me in a resistance back when I first tried to ascend. I wanted to turn the overworld into an underwater paradise, but the pesky land animals fought back. Now I'm going to finish the job.
Not if I have anything to say about it. Once I can control my fire powers, I'll boil you into steam.
That'll be a neat trick, if you were alive to do it.
Suddenly, a scary creature burst out and attacked me. I only just had time to block its attack with my sword before I realized what it was. A snarling wolfman! While my head was turned, Aquarius managed to slip away, leaving me to face his minion. From day 50 to day 53, I fought hard to defend myself against the Wolfman. He was by far the toughest opponent I had ever faced, and much faster than I was used to. Every time I shot a fireball at him, he'd leap out of the way. Why even work for Aquarius anyway? There's no way you really trust him. He said he wants to flood everything and do away with land animals, and that includes you.
Not me. I can swim. Just look how fast I am.
That was it. I needed to slow him down. Instead of aiming my fireballs for the Wolfman, I fired some at the ground near him. Then, as he moved to evade, his fur caught fire and stopped him from running.
Ow! 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 I could really do with some water to douse these flames, boss. Wait, boss? Where did he go?
I told you, you can't trust Aquarius. He used to be a river demon. There's no way he's got good intentions. But I'm gonna stop him.
Then you'll need something stronger than a few fireballs and a plucky attitude. Only magic can stop a demon, like these.
The Wolfman presented what had made him so fast and strong. Some mystical diamonds. Thanks for the tip. With that and another swing of my sword, I defeated the Wolfman and held on to the diamonds for later. From day 54 to day 57, I got back to my previous quest to take care of the creeper spiderlings for the mutated bee. And thankfully, it didn't take me too long to find their nest. With a volley of more fireballs, I was able to burn down their webs and drive the creeper spiderlings out to where I was waiting, ready to finish them off with my sword. Afterwards, I headed back to my base to tell the mutated bee the good news.
That's brilliant! I'm beyond grateful to have a blaze watching our backs again.
Wait, there used to be other blazes?
Oh yeah, before the Big Bad Blue. Before the river demon became Aquarius, he blasted all the blazes with water to snuff out their fire, since it's basically the opposite of water. Blazes used to be a way to maintain the balance in the big bug world. But now they're all gone, besides you.
From day 58 to day 62, now that I was back to base and had a few moments to spare, I decided it was time to work on some upgrades. I expanded the sheep paddock, knowing that now all the mystery sheep were staying alongside the normal sheep. The last thing I needed was for it to get too crowded. Then I set off to mine for some more diamonds. I already had a handful of mystical ones from the Wolfman, but I needed more to actually put them to use. And lucky for me, I found some. With my mystical diamonds, I had enough to make a sword imbued with their magic, and plenty left over to craft a new diamond pickaxe. Once I was done, the mystery sheep had some more words of mysterious wisdom to impart.
Zozo, my flock and I appreciate you letting us take refuge here. As a show of our gratitude, we have used an incredible 3% of our boundless knowledge to improve the living conditions here.
I had no idea the mystery sheep was so well versed in interior architecture. He and the others had made a brand new spacious living area for everyone, as well as a big fireplace. With a quick fireball in there, I could keep the base nice and warm. From day 63 to day 66, I spoke with the fire elemental, who was still residing at the base. I asked him if what the rich mummy had mentioned about the Dead Sea was true.
If there's anywhere near here that you could find Aquarius and take the fight to him, then it'd probably be the big body of water synonymous with death.
Yeah, the Dead Sea does sound like a place an evil river demon masquerading as a water elemental would hang out.
You'd best be careful out there then, Zozo.
I headed off to investigate, and before long, had made my way to the Dead Sea. The name seemed accurate, not just because it was a grim, foreboding place, but just because it was so quiet. In fact, so much so that I got startled by someone coming up behind me. It looked like another blaze, but something was different. Who the heck are you? Did Aquarius send you?
What? No, you've got it all wrong. Sorry for sneaking up on you. I just couldn't believe that there was a living blaze here again.
Wait, do you mean that you're not a blaze or not alive?
Technically, neither. When the river demons snuffed out all the blazes, this is what became of us. We're ender blazes now. Our flames can't warm this world any longer. But yours still can, and I need your help.
From day 67 to day 70, the Ender Blaze led me around the savannah next to the Dead Sea.
Since Aquarius flooded the place, nature's been thrown off kilter. Without blazes to help keep the elements in balance, all kinds of crazy mobs have emerged, just like this one.
The heck is that? I was stunned at what I was seeing. It was part spider and part llama.
Spider llama. These things are nasty critters.
I can't stop it from devouring the food sources of other creatures, but you might be able to.
So, I jumped right into action and drew my new mystical diamond sword. The llama and spider hybrid was startled, but retaliated with vicious attacks. I had to parry its blows with my sword, then managed to chop off its legs and slowed it down enough to deliver the final strike.
Thanks, young Blaze. You make the rest of us proud.
From day 71 to day 74, I continued to search the Dead Sea and found a stone path leading deeper into the sea. I searched for clues as to where I could find Aquarius's hideout. I didn't come across anything helpful, although I could see something in between the rocks. Would you look at that? It's my face! Why not search for more of our videos by typing ZOZO above? Suddenly, Aquarius the water elemental burst from the Dead Sea right before me, angrier than I'd ever seen him.
How dare you come here! A blaze this close to my waters? I'll make you pay for this. You'll be nothing but soggy ashes when I'm done with you!
I barely ducked out of the path of his attacks in time. Unsheathing my mystical diamond sword, I was excited to see that a swing from it could finally leave a little bit of damage. But it wasn't enough. I tried using my fiery blaze powers to make the water elemental evaporate, but my flames weren't hot enough and got extinguished by Aquarius. I had no choice but to get away. This close to the Dead Sea, I was already in danger, and if I didn't escape, it would be all over for me. From day 75 to day 78, I made it back to the safety of my base, but didn't feel all that reassured about it. I had narrowly escaped Aquarius, but I was beginning to think I wouldn't be able to beat him, despite all my best efforts. I wanted to be alone in my room for a while, until the mutated bee came to talk to me.
Hey, Blaze Bro! Hope you don't mind, but this big old base of yours badly needed some better defenses, so I've built up a brand new watchtower. Should be a lot easier to see any bad stuff coming our way.
I realized that the mutated bee was trying to cheer me up, and being reminded that the others were still safe from Aquarius in the base did lift my spirits a little. And I was about to feel even happier after my next chat with the mystery sheep.
Zozo, you continue to endure despite setbacks. As such, me and my fellow mystery sheep have decided to grant you but a tiny fraction of our power. We saved this essence from the creature that created the first generation of blazes. Take this.
It was a lava bottle. I immediately drank it and wasn't harmed thanks to my awesome command of fire. And it suddenly ignited a newfound power within me. I now had up to 100 hearts, and my fireballs were improved too. I could now launch dragon fireballs. From day 79 to day 84, now that I'd been powered up, I decided to once again take the fight to Aquarius in the Dead Sea. Unfortunately, when I returned, there was no sign of him anywhere, although I did get a chance to try out my new upgraded abilities on some nearby mobs. A few feathered serpents were flying around nearby, and I made quick work of them all with a blast of my dragon fireball attack.
Impressive.
The gruff voice belonged to a creature I'd never seen before. It almost resembled a blaze, but it had a lot of characteristics similar to a wolf. Who are you?
I'm the Blaze Wolf. I only appear to those who are worthy to wield the flame. Come, walk with me for a while.
I hung out with the Blaze Wolf for a while. It seemed he had gotten pretty lonely since Aquarius got rid of all the other blazes, and I was happy to keep him company. To say thank you, he even gave me an old diamond helmet he'd found. Now I had added protection against Aquarius's attacks. From day 85 to day 89, I was making my way back to base when I saw a horde of sectoid guards attacking. I rushed over to stop them and reduced a huge number of them to smoldering cinders with my upgraded dragon fireballs. The rest turned and ran away, but I couldn't let them escape. Those nasty bugs would no doubt tell Aquarius where to find my base, and he might come and flood it with my friends still inside. I gave chase and followed the surviving sectoid guards as they fled. I struggled to keep up as they split off from each other, and before long, I thought I had lost them.
Hey, you looking for those ugly bugs?
It was a giant mosquito. Yeah, I am. You didn't see where they went, did you?
Of course. You better get after them. Can't have them muscling in on my habitat. I've got mosquito kids to feed.
I followed the giant mosquito's directions, and it led me to a few of the sectoid guard stragglers who were no match for my firefly blaze powers. From day 90 to day 94, I went after the last remaining sectoid guards and decided I would try to head them off at the pass. I did my best to outpace them and tried to get to the Dead Sea before they could make it back. But as I arrived, I noticed they were heading towards a certain structure I'd been looking for. It was Aquarius's lair. And outside was a creature standing guard that the sectoid guards reported to, a big axolotl.
Out of my way, bugs! I'm going to snuff out this place once and for all, so the boss rewards me in his new water world.
I got my sword ready and leapt into the fight. The big axolotl might have looked cute, but he was one dangerous adversary. I tried using my fireball attacks, but his hide was protected from the flames, so I'd have to try a different approach in order to take him down. From day 95 to day 97, I clashed head-on with the big axolotl. My dragon fireballs weren't effective enough, so switching to my mystical diamond sword was the only way I could stand a chance. Why even work for Aquarius anyway? He'll betray anyone to get what he wants, and he's trying to destroy all the land animals.
Axolotls are amphibians. We can survive underwater. And Aquarius has promised me a kingdom of my own under the sea. A position that I'll secure once I tell him the last blaze isn't burning anymore.
I had to rely on my sword and speed to fend off the big axolotl. But lucky for me, the mystical diamonds I had used to forge my new weapon weren't just good at dealing damage against river demons, but also against oversized amphibians.
Oh no, this can't be. Aquarius promised me.
I told you, he can't be trusted.
Oh, then let me repay him for his betrayal in kind before you finish me off. The water, it's his greatest strength, but also his ultimate weakness. He has to absorb water to survive, you see. It's why he doesn't like to venture inland too often. You need to dry him out.
Thanks for the advice. I'll make this part quick. With that, the big axolotl was defeated. I had beaten my toughest challenge yet, and now I knew exactly where I could find Aquarius to confront him and put an end to all this. But I pumped the brakes on my eagerness and decided to first return home to resupply and check my friends were okay. On day 98, I arrived back home and was pleased to see everyone was okay. First, I spoke to the mutated bee.
Be careful, Blaze buddy. Go show that big bad bully river demon that you're the boss around here.
Thanks, bee. Then I spoke to the fire elemental.
You're carrying the flaming torch now for all of us fire creatures, Zozo. Your fellow blazes would be proud. I know I sure am.
I couldn't have done it without your help. And finally, I spoke to the mystery sheep.
Zozo, go forth into the great mysterious unknown with all the grace of us mighty noble sheep. Channel our greatness and you will prevail.
You know, I don't think I'll ever fully understand you, mystery sheep.
I know. That is the point. I'm mysterious.
With that, I headed off to the Dead Sea for the final confrontation. On day 99, I arrived back at the water elemental's lair to find an army of sectoid guards crawling in the lobby. Whew, guess the only way in is through them.
Still, it'll be easier with some help.
It was the Ender Blaze from before.
All the other blazes trapped with me are channeling their power to keep me here. I should have just enough firepower to help you out in battle. Go on, Zozo. Finish this once and for all. I'll hold them back here.
So I dashed inside. On day 100, I came bursting into the lair and was finally face to face with Aquarius, the water elemental, or as he really was, the river demon.
You! Who are you to challenge me? You think you're special because you're made of fire? I'm the Lord of Water Elementals. I'm the unstoppable tide that will purify this overworld.
You're nothing but a liar and a pretender, Aquarius, and I'm the Blaze who's gonna stop you. The final showdown was on. I knew my mystical diamond sword could do some serious damage against the river demon, but I didn't want to play my hand too early. He could try to knock my main weapon out of my hand. Then I'd only have my flames left. But I thought back to what the big axolotl had said. I needed to dry Aquarius out, and I now had powerful dragon fireballs at my disposal. But how? I was hurling fire at Aquarius, but it wasn't working. Then I remembered building my base to make sure it was fireproof so I didn't burn it down. And then I thought of it. If I couldn't evaporate Aquarius with a direct fireball attack, then I'd have to burn the area around him. I launched more dragon fireballs and spread flames all over the place while clashing with Aquarius. Before long, the temperature was rising and his attacks were getting weaker. With one last fireball, his water started to evaporate. This is for my friend, the Iron Chicken. You're fresh out of cluck, Aquarius. The true river demon he was had been made vulnerable to damage, and one final swing of my mystical diamond sword finished him off for good. I had done it! I'd survived 100 days and defeated Aquarius, finally putting a stop to his schemes. On day 1, I spawned into the Dover Mountains as a courageous firefighter. Well, a baby firefighter anyway. It looks like I've got a long way to go when it comes to developing all my firefighting skills, but I didn't have time to practice at a leisurely pace. A huge hulking fire ogre jumped down right in front of me.
There you are, little firefighter. I thought I burned every last one of you, but it seems I missed one. I've got to be losing my touch.
Wait, who are you?
Oh, silly me. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Larson the Fire Ogre. I'm called Larson because it rhymes with arson. And I just want to watch the whole world burn.
You'll never burn the world, Larson. Not if I have anything to say about it.
But you won't have anything to say, kid, because you're just gonna be a sad little pile of ash.
Before I could think up a witty comeback, Larson blasted me with a fireball. Lucky for me, my fire-resistant coat deflected the worst of it, but it wouldn't do that twice. I just had to run. I need to figure out a way to stop that diabolical fire ogre, or the whole overworld is gonna burn. On day 2, I continued fleeing through the Dover Mountains. I could smell smoke in the air, and that certainly didn't make me feel good. 10 hearts. Uh-oh, that's not much. I need to stay safe, or I'll never be strong enough to stop Larson from setting everything on fire. But I needed to get some food first, because my hunger bar was dangerously low. Lucky for me, I found some apples lying around on the ground, and decided to eat them as a quick snack.
Ha! You walked right into my trap!
A huge red manticore leaped out of the trees, ready to battle!
I'm a friend of Larson's. He sends his regards. You know, kid, you've got no future. Either I get you or Larson will. Either way, your fate is in our hands.
The red manticore didn't seem like a nice guy, so instead of sitting around for his lecture, I turned and ran for the hills, or rather the mountains. I guess running is a valuable exercise for a firefighter. But it didn't take long for me to tire myself out and collapse on the ground. It was totally humiliating. But I felt a sudden burst of energy when I saw a huge blue ogre looming over me. Oh no!
Please, be not afraid. I assume you probably met my brother Larson. He's a bad guy, and I'm not like him. I'm Brian the Blue Ogre, and as my blue color suggests, I'm pretty chill.
I got back up, feeling immense relief. Phew, it's really nice to meet someone else who doesn't want the world to burn down.
And I'm not the only one either. Welcome to the Resistance, little firefighter. Come with me.
On day 3, Brian the Blue Ogre led me across the Dover Mountains, soon reaching a large and roaring fire.
This is a controlled fire, by the way, so there's no need to fight it.
Fair enough, that makes sense. I walked ahead to the fire and saw an old calico kitty warming herself.
Ah, a firefighter. It's been a long time.
What do you mean? You met a firefighter once before?
Oh, yes. One of them saved my life years ago. I was stuck in a tree, and it was a firefighter who came and saved me. I owed my life to him after that, and took care of him in his twilight years. He passed down his precious fireman's axe to me, and I swore I'd one day give it to another firefighter to carry on his legacy of doing brave and heroic acts.
I'd be honored to accept his fire axe.
Then take it, and a stone pickaxe, and go make yourself a new fire station. You alone will be able to put out the fires and keep this land safe.
He gave me the stone pickaxe and the stone fire axe. Inspired by the tale that Calico Kitty had told me, I took them and left to go back to Brian the Blue Ogre to begin my quest in earnest. From day 4 to day 5, Brian the Blue Ogre and I went out and discovered the perfect place in the Dover Mountains to set up a base.
What kind of base will we create, Zozo?
A fire station, of course. We need to get out there and put out fires anytime we can, at any hour of the day or night.
That sounds exhausting and extremely stressful, but it also sounds like the right thing to do.
I started cutting down trees with my axe to collect wood and mining up stone. With all that, I started building the most basic parts of my new fire station base, the barracks, where Brian and I could sleep at night. When the base was done, Brian came over to me with a gift.
Zozo, I got you another valuable item for your firefighting quests. It's a bucket. You can fill it up with water and use it to put out fires.
That's perfect, Brian. It seems like I've got a really cool firefighting loadout. But fires wouldn't be the only threat that I'd need to face. A gaggle of nasty rats came skittering out of the forest, and I needed to put my fire axe to lethal use in order to defeat them. Wow, I'm pretty good with this thing. Wait, what's happening to me? The XP I'd gained from defeating the hell rats was enough for me to level up. I got bigger, stronger, had 30 hearts, and a new power, a fire hose. I'm like a real firefighter now. From day 6 to day 8, I smelled some smoke in the ebony woods and ran there immediately to put out some fires that were raging amongst the trees. I'm putting out fires everywhere. I hope I can continue to get to places on time, or there could be a real disaster. Speaking of disasters, I soon came face to face with a terrifying gang of undead scorpions. Could they be the ones who caused the fire? I better ask them a few questions. Get it? Axe? Yeah, nobody has a sense of humor around here. With the fireman's axe I'd inherited from the firefighter of old, I took out each one of the undead scorpions. The axe wasn't as fast as a sword, but what it didn't have in speed, it made up for in power. Soon enough, I defeated the entire gang of undead scorpions. With the area cleared, a new presence stepped out from behind the trees. It was a darkness ostrich.
That was impressive work, stranger. You seem like you can handle yourself in another.
I'm a firefighter, not just a fighter. Why would I fight your fights for you?
Because I'm fast. If you and I work together, I can be your advanced warning system for fires across the overworld.
Well, that's actually a really good point. Lead the way. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the mysterious darkness ostrich to a clearing in the ebony woods, where I saw an even more ominous ostrich in the distance.
That's my brother, the hell ostrich. He was once a good ostrich, but he gave in to the temptation of evil. Now he's barely a shadow of what he used to be. He needs to be destroyed for his own good.
Wow, there are a lot of warring brothers out there. Guess I'll do what I can. I ran in and tried to battle the hell ostrich with my fire hose and axe, but it was so incredibly fast, it unleashed a devastating attack on me before I even got a chance to take it down.
I have demon energies, firefighter. There's no way you're ever gonna defeat me like that.
And as much as I hated to admit it, he was right. I ran back to the darkness ostrich, feeling ashamed. Looks like I still have some training to do before I can mercy defeat your evil brother, Darkness Ostrich. Why don't you come crash at my base in the meantime?
It can't hurt. It does get lonely out here in the ebony forest after all.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to the fire station and constructed some lodging for the Darkness Ostrich. I made sure to make the ostrich's room have a dark-like vibe to suit its nature. I went to tell the Darkness Ostrich that I'd finished his lodging and was surprised to see that the station had expanded while I hadn't been watching.
Would you like to see the new storage room?
I'd better make sure all of this is up to the latest fire code and guidelines, so lead the way. The Darkness Ostrich took me inside the storage room, which is an ideal place for storing all our firefighting equipment. He also showed me a furnace, which was in perfect condition for heating the station without being a fire hazard in itself. After looking over both of these additions to the base and approving of them, I listened to the Darkness Ostrich tell me a bit more about the evil that we'd be fighting, aside from just fire.
My brother, the Hell Ostrich, turned evil right around the same time as Larson, the Fire Ogre, started the rampage. I don't know if it's related, but brothers shouldn't have to fight brothers. That's why I wanted you to deal with him.
I get that, I really do. But I'm a firefighter, not a brother fighter. I can't tell you why family doesn't always get along. Afterwards, I decided to make myself a stronger fire axe for the battles ahead, so I went to gather some iron ore from the mines. I then smelted the iron and made an iron axe and iron pickaxe as well to make it easier to dig for the materials. The next step in making the fire station into a sustainable base was building a farm for sheep and herding some sheep into it. You never know when you need some wool, even if it can be highly flammable. From day 13 to day 15, Brian the Blue Ogre came into the fire station to offer me some of his chill wisdom.
You've built this fire station into something quite admirable. The battle against my brother Larson the Fire Ogre will be arduous and ongoing, so remember to maintain your cool.
The Fire Ogre's blazes are some of the most dangerous I've ever seen. How do you suggest I train to withstand those scorching attacks?
You should focus on your health and durability. Surviving the flames is the first step to overcoming them. Go to the Ebony Woods and find your strength.
Following Brian's advice, I went on a walk through the Ebony Woods, admiring the gorgeous view of the trees. That view was interrupted by the sudden appearance of a red manticore, no doubt sent here by Larson the Fire Ogre to start some kind of brush fire.
Nice trees! It would be a shame if someone burned them down.
Stop right there, red manticore. I'm going to prevent this forest fire before it happens. I drew my iron fire axe and struck the manticore with a heavy blow. The manticore bit back, but I stood my ground and continued to hack away until the manticore was defeated. My victory was rewarded with a rare health potion drop. I drank it down and felt my strength rising to a new level. I now had an incredible total of 60 hearts, and I could smash through solid walls. From day 16 to day 19, I found myself in another beautiful forest, the Flower Forest. The great outdoors sure was grand, but these biomes were the most at risk when it came to fire. I stayed vigilant in case Larson the Fire Ogre or another one of his evil red manticore minions was planning to cause trouble. Further into the woods, I happened to find a book of information lying on the ground. Flammable objects shouldn't be left on the ground, so I picked up the book and gave it a read. There are many paths to becoming strong in the overworld, and one of them is the path of demons. By embracing the evil instincts in their heart, a creature can learn to destroy any obstacle or enemy. But because balance is a natural part of the overworld, those who choose the path of demons are opposed by the rescue warriors, who follow a path of protection. I pondered the words on the page for a while, thinking of Larson the Fire Ogre as well as the Hell Ostrich. Both of them seem to have chosen this path of demons.
We follow the path of demons too, and we'll use our evil energy to destroy you, fireman.
I looked from the book to see I was surrounded by red manticores. They had ambushed me, but I wouldn't let them win so easily. I wasted no time drawing my iron axe and chopping them down. From day 20 to day 22, I gathered more iron from the mines and smelted the iron ore into iron ingots. I then used the ingots to craft my first piece of iron armor, an iron chestplate. With this extra bit of protection, I felt strong enough to face the Hell Ostrich of the Black Forest. I'll settle this family score for the Darkness Ostrich. That should put me on the right path. I arrived at the part of the Black Forest where the Hell Ostrich resided and found him immediately.
Ready to be destroyed again? I'll happily walk all over you until you learn your lesson.
The only one who is learning a lesson today is you, Hell Ostrich. You followed the path of demons, but it ends here. I used my iron axe to carve out my own path to victory. The Hell Ostrich's attack speed was much greater than my own, but thanks to my armor and higher health, I endured his attacks and used my slow but powerful hits to take him out. The Hell Ostrich burst into flames upon being defeated. I saw a flashback in the raging fire. The flashback showed the Hell Ostrich and several others gathered in a place with magical mushrooms. The most intimidating among them was Larson the Fire Ogre.
Today begins our pact to follow the path of demons. We will gain the powers of destruction and burn the overworld together.
To my great surprise, I saw my twin brother amongst the gathered creatures. What was he doing there? From day 23 to day 26, I went back to the fire station and told the Darkness Ostrich about my successful battle with the Hell Ostrich. It was a tough fight, but I did what needed to be done.
You are truly one firefighter, Zozo. There needs to be someone like you to fight the evil of this world.
I know that now more than ever. There's more creatures who are following the path of demons, including Larson, and none of them will rest until the overworld is burned to the ground. With my new determination to fight fire soaring to new heights, I descended into the mines and dug up some more iron ore. To complement my iron chestplate, I used my next few ingots to make an iron helmet and iron boots. It's not exactly fireproof, but it will keep me from getting hurt by most conventional attacks. Back above ground, I reunited with the Darkness Ostrich, who had just finished building a massive wall around the whole fire station. This is a really nice wall. I'm surprised you completed it so quickly. I wasn't gone that long.
I'm not just speedy when I'm running. I build things fast too.
From day 27 to day 31, I was walking through the Flower Forest to make sure that it was still safe from the hostile mobs. Instead of any red manticores, I saw a white lioness. That must be a good sign.
You're the firefighter that protected our forest from the red manticores. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome, White Lioness. A firefighter must always be ready to protect the overworld.
If you don't mind, I'd like to spend some time at your fire station, just to make sure we're all in good hands.
Sure, the fire station is open to the public, so you can stay as long as you want. I took the white lioness back to the base and built a room for her to stay. Our fire station family was growing larger, so I decided to spruce up the base a bit. From the sheep farm, I was able to gather a bunch of sheep's wool, which I used to create decorative banners to put around the base. Remember to keep these banners away from open flames, everyone! Afterwards, I ran into Brian the Blue Ogre, who despite his usual chill attitude, seemed concerned.
There's a fire in the nearby mountains. It's probably Larson. Now is the time to act.
If even you are worried, that's enough reason for me! From day 32 to day 35, the Blue Ogre and I hurried to the source of the fire and saw that the area was swarmed with red manticores. This is bad! Those red manticores must have set everything ablaze!
Larson is definitely behind this, but I don't see him.
I fought my way through the flames with my iron axe and saw the Calico Kitty from before, the same one who gave me my original fire axe. Kitty!
Zozo, help me! Please, rescue me!
Don't worry, Kitty, I'm coming! Just then, another blast of flame lit up the area. The Calico Kitty was burnt to a crisp before I could do anything about the fire. No, I was too late!
You can't stop the fire, Zozo! It's always been burning since the overworld's been turning!
Enraged by the red manticore's taunts, I charged forward and jumped through each and every one of them. Then, I put out the fires to prevent any further destruction to the environment. From day 36 to day 39, I went on patrol in the Ebony Woods to root out the other minions of Larson the Fire Ogre. Near a pond in the woods, I met a humble old turtle who gave me a friendly greeting and offered me a quest.
Hello there, firefighter! I heard that the overworld has had a lot of trouble with the ones following the path of demons. I know of a giant in these woods that is also using demon energy for evil, so I thought I'd report it.
Thanks, Turtle. I'll get right on that so that the woods can be safe for you again. I wandered deeper into the woods until I came upon a giant. At his size, he was pretty hard to miss. At a glance, I could tell that he had the same wicked vibes as the Hell Ostrich, so I approached with my weapon drawn. The giant tried to attack me, but I defended myself and hacked him down to size. The bigger they come, the harder they fall. I returned to the turtle and told him the good news. As a reward, the turtle gave me some information regarding the ones following the path of demons.
I saw this once before at an earlier point in my long life. Creatures who wanted to cause destruction gathered together and formed a pact. Their demon powers grow stronger the more that they destroy, especially if they destroy good guy rescue warriors like yourself. Just be careful, okay?
From day 40 to day 43, I returned to the fire station to find that the inside of the rooms had bookshelves and couches. This is a good place for books because we can keep them safe. But who added these to the base?
It was me, Brian. I'm inviting another Blue Ogre friend to the fire station so that we can chill out. He's not related to me and Larson, though.
Wow, I had questions, but I guess you answered them already. And if you want to chill with a friend here at the base, that's chill with me.
Thanks, Zozo. You're a cool friend.
Sometime later, the other Blue Ogre that Brian was friends with arrived at the fire station. Please, make yourself at home. I left the Blue Ogres to their hangout and went to repair my axe. When I was finished with fixing up my axe, I was approached by the White Lioness, who had a new mission for me.
Zozo, I've learned that an evil ghast is in the flower forest. I can't go home until it is defeated.
Was this ghast your sibling or friend by any chance?
No, just a regular evil ghast. Why do you ask?
I was just curious. It seems like everyone has an evil twin these days. From day 44 to day 49, I went to the flower forest for the quest of the White Lioness and found that some forest fires had been started. I ran straight into the flames, ready to put them all out. Thank goodness I got here in time before it spreads even more.
You said it, Zozo. Now I can see you burned up at last. Then nothing will stop our destruction.
Larson, you won't be getting away with this. I'll put this fire out and put you down.
Well, I'd personally enjoy fire blasting you until only ash remains. Somebody else from the path of demons wants to take you on.
Someone else? Who could it be?
You'll find out.
Larson disappeared into the flames and escaped. I tried to follow him, but a terrifying husk blocked my path. There was something kind of familiar about this husk, and it freaked me out.
Hello, brother. It is me. You left me behind.
Wait, no, you're my brother.
Why are you working with Larson?
Because I've followed the path of demons, and now I'll destroy you and grow even more powerful.
This is horrible, but I have no choice. I have to fight you, brother. The husk of my brother attacked me, and I countered with my iron fire axe. The fight was difficult, not just because of the damage I was taking, but because my feelings were being hurt too. From day 50 to day 53, I fought on against the husk that was once my brother. My fire axe continued to strike true, but he had health to spare. I, on the other hand, was losing a lot of hearts.
Why are you holding back? We are enemies now, brother. I must destroy you, and you must try to stop me.
I don't want to, and maybe that's why I've been holding back this whole time.
Is this all your great life of becoming a firefighter amounted to? My evil will undo all the good you've done in the world.
If that's how you feel, then I refuse to hold back any longer. Take this! I went all out against the husk and felled my former brother with a few well-placed axe strikes. He disappeared, leaving behind a bunch of diamonds. I remember these diamonds from back when my twin brother and I were kids. I found them inside of an abandoned mine. I told him to keep them when I left to become a firefighter. He held on to them all this time. It's so tragic. I'm sorry, brother, but I will avenge you by defeating Larson, the Fire Ogre! From day 54 to day 57, I found the gas that the White Lioness had mentioned. It screamed at me and attacked at range. I dodged through the blast and approached with my axe. With no hesitation, I cut the gas down in one hit. I returned to base and told the White Lioness that the Flower Forest would now be safe to return to.
Thank you, Zozo.
You're welcome.
Is something bothering you?
I had to defeat my twin brother because he followed the path of demons and became an evil husk. It's left me really conflicted about how much of a hero I really am. I couldn't save him from turning evil.
That's rough, buddy. But you're not the one to blame. It was Larson, the fire ogre, who gathered all those creatures, promising them the powers of destruction. There will always be creatures out there who want to watch the overworld burn. But as long as you protect and rescue those in danger, you're definitely a hero.
That really helped. Thank you, White Lioness. I will keep fighting fires and saving people for as long as I am able. From day 58 to day 62, I went to the mine and discovered a vein of diamonds, which I could use to craft better gear. I traded out my iron pickaxe for a diamond pickaxe right away, but I took some extra time when I was crafting my new fire axe. I used the diamonds that my twin brother had to create a powerful diamond fire axe in his honor. I'll never forget you, brother, even if you did turn into a husk and try to defeat me. I returned from the mines to find that a brand new living area had been built, including a contained fireplace. Brian, the blue ogre, was hanging out near the bookshelves and welcomed me the moment I stepped in. Brian, did you do all of this?
Yep. It took me a while to find the setup for the fireplace that was most safe, but I think you'll be happy with it.
Of course I am, buddy. Thank you! From day 63 to day 66, the Darkness Ostrich came to find me in the mines with some crucial information.
Hey, Zozo! I've run around all across the overworld, and I think I discovered the fungal patch where the creatures following the path of demons made their pact.
Great work, Darkness Ostrich. I knew I could count on you to find out where Larson the Fire Ogre is hiding away.
Well, I don't know for sure that he's there, because I haven't seen him. But if you go there, it's possible that you'll see him.
I decided to give it a shot, heading straight to the mysterious biome known as the Fungal Patch. It certainly resembled the place that I saw in my vision, but like the Darkness Ostrich said, there was no sign of Larson. I heard some movement among the mushrooms and braced for a fight. The source of the sound turned out to be a leatherworker who wasn't in the mood for a fight at all.
I'm not with those Path of Demon guys. I'm just trying to make some supernatural leather to work with.
I guess that does make sense. You are a leatherworker. How can I help? This place is dangerous on your own.
Yeah, I'll show you, firefighter. Follow me.
From day 67 to day 70, I went with the leatherworker to another part of the fungal patch. I soon spotted an Enderman walking around the fungal patch looking for innocent lives to destroy.
That thing has the leather I need, but too afraid to get close. It has the powers of the Path of Demons.
I'll handle it. If that thing made the pact with Larson the Fire Ogre, it's got to be stopped. I attacked the Enderman by surprise and scored the first hit. It attacked me and did a bit of damage, but my diamond fire axe struck true the next time. Even though it had longer limbs, I stayed in close range and hammered away until the towering being fell. It also dropped the leather that the leatherworker was looking for.
Thank you for your help, Zozo. You're the best.
From day 71 to day 74, I spotted some fire in another part of the fungal patch and ventured towards it. That fire would most likely lead me to Larson the Fire Ogre. He was still very strong, but I was ready to try and fight him. Wish me luck, and don't forget to search ZOZO in order to find more of the Zozo videos you love. I reached the spot where the fungal patch fire was burning and saw Larson the Fire Ogre adding to it with more fire blasts. Your path of demons isn't going any further, Larson. I'm fighting your fire with fire fighting.
What do you hope to accomplish, Zozo? I've got flames you can't hope to tame.
He hit me with a fireball that scorched me and did a ton of damage. I struck back with my diamond fire axe. My shock, it barely did any damage. He hit me with another fireball, and I almost lost my footing. I could barely stand, so I turned and ran away from the fungal patch. Our fight would have to happen another day. From day 75 to day 78, I regretted my loss against Larson the Fire Ogre in my room at the fire station. Fighting fires was what I was meant to do, and as long as I couldn't defeat Larson, there would always be uncontrolled fires. I can save myself, but I can't save anyone else. Suddenly, the White Lioness came to see me. I thought you headed home to the flower forest.
I came back as soon as I heard you were doubting yourself. I need to show you something.
I followed the White Lioness to the outside of the base and found that a watchtower had been built next to the fire station.
With this, you'll be able to spot fires all over the overworld. You'll get your chance to face Larson the Fire Ogre again, when you're ready.
Thanks, White Lioness. You always know what to say. I went to hang out in the living room and met with Brian the Blue Ogre, chilling out as usual.
I've come up with a plan for how you can defeat my evil brother, Larson.
Let's hear it.
If you eat this magic golden carrot, you'll have the chilled out powers over ice, as well as a boatload more health.
That just might turn the tide, Brian. Thank you. I went outside and ate the magic golden carrot and became a massive super firefighter with the chill ability to fire blasts of ice. I had 100 hearts as well to make sure that I could survive many battles. From day 79 to day 84, I went back to the fungal patch to see how my new chill powers would stand up against another pack of demon grunts. I was attacked by a piglin brute, so I used my ice blast to freeze the mob solid before chopping it with my diamond fire axe. A traveling snow golem saw the fight and applauded my skill.
That was totally cool. You chilled the piglin brute out and put him on ice.
I'm glad you thought it was neat. These ice powers are brand new, so I'm still getting the hang of how to use them to fight fires.
You're a firefighter. I should have known because of that uniform you're wearing, but that's really cool too. You guys are heroes. If I was around fire, I'd melt from fear.
I'd recommend avoiding the fungal patch then. There's a powerful fire ogre out here who just wants to burn and destroy things.
Oh, really? Thanks for the heads up. I'm gonna go head to a place a bit more chill, but take this helmet for your troubles. Firefighters have a good helmet after all.
No problem, buddy. Sorry, bad pun. The snow golem gave me diamond leggings, which I equipped. I was more prepared to fight than ever, and not just fires. From day 85 to day 89, I went back to my base, which was currently on fire and under attack by the red manticores. Starting a fire at the fire station. That's a new low.
There's no low to which we of the Path of Demons won't sink to. We're just that rotten, mean, and nasty.
You're about to be frozen too, along with those other adjectives. I launched ice blasts at the red manticores, which put several of them on ice. Afterwards, I hacked them all down with my diamond fire axe. Soon, there were no more red manticores left outside the fire station. But there was a fire out on the horizon, so I went to put it out. I traveled a long way from the base until I found myself in a small village where many of the buildings were on fire.
Firefighter Zozo, help us please! Larson the Fire Ogre set all of our wooden houses ablaze!
Never fear, the firefighter is here! I used my fire hose to douse the flames rapidly and repeated the process until every house in the village was saved from the fire.
You protected us! How can we ever repay you?
Don't worry about it, villager. Fighting fires is its own reward. From day 90 to day 94, having helped the villagers, I searched for the red manticores all the way deep into the fungal patch. Why would anyone live here? This must be where the big boss Larson the Fire Ogre himself hangs his hat. When I arrived in the heart of the fungal patch, I couldn't see any red manticores. Instead, a Vex emerged from the darkness.
You must be Zozo, the firefighter. That's funny. I was expecting someone far more impressive.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Vex. Unlucky for you, I'm not sorry about defeating you.
How fiery of you. Let's see if we can turn up the heat even more.
From day 95 to day 97, I started my battle with the Vex. With his demon strength, he was one of the toughest enemies I'd ever battled. But there was one thing I knew for sure. I was right that Larson had a base in the fungal patch. He wouldn't send out his very best warrior if he wasn't scared I was getting too close to the truth. Knowing this made me fight harder than ever before. With my Ice Blast and my axe, I defeated the Vex. I'm getting a burning feeling that my quest is really getting exciting now. On day 98, knowing everything I needed to in order to battle Larson, I decided to make my peace with my friends back at my base. Either I'd come back from the lair of the Fire Ogre victorious, or I wouldn't come back at all. First, I spoke to the White Lioness.
You've convinced me, Zozo. You're a true firefighter and a true hero.
Second, I spoke to the Darkness Ostrich.
You were capable of defeating the Hell Ostrich, something I was never able to do. I believed you can win the day.
And finally, I spoke to Brian the Blue Ogre, the first kind person I'd met since starting my firefighting career.
I know you'll do what's right, Zozo. I lost my brother a long time ago. You can finally put him to rest and save the world from the fiery end. Do it, Zozo. Do what's right.
On day 99, I traveled into the dark heart of the fungal patch. I knew that Larson was hiding out here, and if I didn't stop him now, once and for all, he might burn the whole world down to the ground. But when I was outside of his lair, I realized this wouldn't be a one-on-one battle between me and the Fire Ogre. There were a whole bunch of those evil red manticores waiting outside. Now Larson may be evil, but he sure is smart. If I fight all those manticores, I'll be exhausted by the time I actually face the big boss. I heard footsteps coming up behind me. I turned and saw that it was the leather worker I'd helped before.
Howdy, Zozo. I can help you out. You get in there and put out that ogre's flame. I'll keep all those manticores distracted. Finish this!
You may be a leather worker, but my friend, you have the heart of a true firefighter. While the leather worker distracted the manticores, I ran straight in. On day 100, I ran into Larson's lair, ready to face him and finish this once and for all. He stood there in all of his terrible fiery glory, ready to battle me.
Firefighter, so you're finally ready to give yourself up to the flame.
You're so obsessed with fire. I'm amazed you haven't burned your own place down yet.
I'm planning on doing my place last. I'll burn everything eventually. But hey, you know what they say? The ogre that burns twice as bright burns half as long.
The time for talk was over. I needed to put out the flame. I blasted Larson with Ice Blast after Ice Blast, dueling the power of his demon flames. He fought viciously with all the burning power we'd learned to expect. But in the end, it was one decisive strike of my diamond axe that took care of him for good. I didn't start the fire, but I'm the one who put it out.